Boy, I tell you, some tricks are being played on me this morning. I thought we was live, and Jamal, oh, you hold on.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here. I'm here.
yeah, I thought we was live, and the thing froze on me. As soon as I say let's go live, here we go. It froze on us. The machine froze on us.
Yeah, you're freezing up now.
Okay, yeah, we ready to go live. Here we go. Let me see.
It
What is
says you
going?
are live.
Yeah, I wonder why this thing not. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Have a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheen Ajame out of Atlanta, but we got my sister from another mother, but we got the same father, and she's very important. Zamari, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Good morning to you too. Good to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you. And Machine wanted to give us some issues this morning, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
I like, wow. We say we're gonna get started right at 7 o'clock, and then we have all kind of little hiccups that we have no control over. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna fight through this thing, and we're gonna make it through this thing. So, let's go. I got a question for you, Ismari.
You always do.
I always do. Yes, I do. What it say? The question asker. But oh, hold on for a minute. I got okay. There we go. We got that plan over there. Came in. Um, and not everybody. Certainly not everybody. But why do a lot of people clear up their credit, clean up their credit just to go in debt?
Oh, oh, that's hard. Okay, that one I don't know because my husband has worked really hard, right? Like you guys know, I stay home, he works. So
Mm-hmm.
that burden is on him. That financial burden is on him. But he
Mm-hmm.
has worked really, really, really hard to clear up his debt.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, of course, our credit limits have gone up, all of that stuff. And even though we're climbing out of that hole, it feels like we're in a hole at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's because okay, cool. We've got this extra, and we got this, we got this. Oh, the kids need this, and the
Mm-hmm.
school needs money for that, and
Mm-hmm.
then oh, we need new tires. And so I don't think in all situations it's always intentional. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that life happens.
Yes.
And then there are, I think on the other side of that, there are people who are like, "Whoo, we're debt free now. We can spend, spend, spend."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why they do that. I don't know if it's just idiocy.
Mm,
I
I don't know,
don't know.
but I sit back and I think about stuff like this sometimes, and I laugh because it really does happen. People they clear up their credit, they do everything, they fight so hard to get the credit, to get out of to clear up their credit so they can have great credit, just to go right back into debt. I'm like,
Yeah.
what in the world is going on? Why do people do that? But it happens all the time, and more often than not, people end up going right back into debt.
Yeah. I
And
like I said though, I think in a lot of circumstances it's you feel that freedom and that relief for a minute, and then it's like a bomb hits and everything that can go wrong does go wrong. You got a
mm-hmm,
leak in your roof, your washing
mm-hmm,
machine goes out, your dishwasher stops working. There's always something. You get a crack in your car window.
mm-hmm,
Life just happens, and it's frustrating. And I've had those issues, right? I think we all have, where we're just like, God, why?
mm-hmm.
Why would you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that? Like, what did
I
I
was
do to make you mad this time?
I was just getting on my feet. I was just getting it together. My credit score has gone up. I'm in a better place, and here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
exactly.
The floodgate. The floodgate.
Yes.
But it, like I said, and that's we was talking yesterday, and we're gonna get back into the conversation about the system. And I'm just wondering, is this just a part of the system to keep people in a situation where they're behind the eight ball all the time?
I think consumerism has a lot to do with it too, because they
Mhm,
push all of these things that they say we need, right?
mhm,
It's like that
mhm.
subliminal messaging, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's like, oh, but you have to have this. It's going to make your life so much better and
Mhm,
easier,
mhm,
and you're going to be happier
mhm.
because consumerism equals happiness in this society.
Yep,
So
it
it
does.
could be. It could be. If you don't have the newest and the shiniest, you're not happy. And so
Mhm.
people go in debt looking for that happiness that they can't really obtain.
And that's one of the reasons why I think, and it may just be something that they do, but that's why I think iPhone always come out with all these new versions every year. It's a new iPhone, and everybody gotta have it. Excuse me. And everybody have to have the new iPhone. It's just, I have to be the first one on my block in my family or whatever to get this new phone that does the same thing the last 10 did, but it's new.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so I'm sure you've seen this too with even with your own phones, right? It's like you have it and you can, because look, my husband and I were pretty bad about getting new phones.
Mhm, mhm.
Like,
Everybody
you
is.
know, we'll
Yeah,
keep ours for like 6, 7, 8, 9 years. We're like, it's probably time for a new one.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But you notice after so many years go by, your phone, it's like it gets slower
Yeah.
and slower and slower. And I think that's intentionally built into the phone so that you do buy a new one. You have to buy a new one. And
Mhm.
the battery doesn't charge as quickly or it drains
Exactly,
quicker.
exactly.
So, because otherwise what? We would keep these until they died, literally.
Yeah. I saw a fella over the weekend. I went and I supported Stanley. He had an event, and I went drove to support him. And there was a fella that was talking at the end, and we was outside talking in front. It was in front of a church, and the fella was trying to get Stanley number and everything, and he pulled out a flip phone. I looked. I said, bro, is that a flip phone? He said, yes, it is. He said, it's my reliable. Everything I need is on this phone. It'll never go away. I know that it's there. And he had a smartphone. He said, this is my phone. This is my play phone. But that flip phone was his go-to. It was more reliable. He
I
thought.
I I don't mind. Okay, so I actually went on a kick some years back where I wanted the flip phone. Okay, because the old flip phones, we're
Yeah.
talking like when phones first came out, right? And
Yes.
everybody
Yes.
had that flip phone. Those didn't have the chips in them. This is gonna be conspiracy stuff, Raheen. So bear with me.
Okay.
But they weren't trackable per se, like in the same way that our smartphones are. It didn't have the same chips in them. So I was like, well, I want this because if apocalypse ever happens,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I've got that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, I don't know, it was built differently than what smartphones are. And so I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll stick with that. But the thing is, everybody texts now,
Yes.
and texting on a flip phone is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just not. So, that's why I was just like, no, no. And then they had that push to talk option too, where it was like a walkie
Yes.
talkie.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so at the time when I had that, my husband was supposed to be getting one too because it would be cheaper on our phone bill. We wouldn't have to have this unlimited plan, just trying to save
Yeah.
money anywhere we could. And then
Exactly.
he never got the other one. So I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
They actually have an app now, a walkie-talkie app, and I was gonna go get it. I went on about a couple of weeks ago. I was gonna get it, but they charge so much for it, man. I said no, that it's not even worth it, man. I could just text the person, and because it's a nice little feature. You push the little button, talk to somebody, and it's just something else to have. You don't necessarily need it. It's just we just love convenience, and
Mhm.
we go overboard sometimes for convenience for stuff that we really don't need at all.
And then that convenience, like what you were talking about, is what eventually leads to you not being able to pay your light bill because you're
Yeah,
too far
yeah.
deep in debt.
Mhm.
And
exactly.
I don't know why people do it, because my husband and I, we, for the most part, we live very simple lives.
Mm-hmm.
We don't overspend really. A lot of our expenses are, like I said, it's paying for our everyday bills or our monthly bills, and then paying for what the kids need.
Mm-hmm.
That's the majority of our expenses. And of course, groceries and things that you
Yeah. Yeah.
actually need. We don't really
Mhm.
spend on ourselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I
That
don't
had to take
know.
that had to take some discipline, because a lot of people, we just, like I said, we love convenience. We love convenience. We love going out there just buying stuff because of the fact that it's that the stuff when you're going through the grocery store, they put all that stuff at the aisle because it tempts you to buy this sweet candy and all that stuff. They put all that stuff right there because it's tempting. People love candy and all kind of stuff like that, and so that's one of the reasons why they placed it in a position where they put it. It's tempting.
I don't think, well, for us, I don't think it was necessarily discipline. It was
Mhm.
just being broke and not being able to afford anything for so
Okay,
long.
okay, yeah. Okay.
um, that'll give you discipline.
Mhm. That you normally did not have. Yeah,
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 exactly. So now, now that we're in a much better place and a better position to where we can afford things, a little bit more than what we were able to, it's still like, but we don't need it.
yeah, yeah.
It's when you live for so long poor, and
Mhm,
you realize what those necessities are,
mhm.
you realize you don't really need anything else. There's
Yeah,
nothing else in the world that you need. You have your necessities, you have what it takes for you to live comfortably, and that's
mhm.
good enough. And people don't know how to do that. Like you said, they got to run out and get the new iPhone.
Yeah,
Oh, but
yeah.
man, I can't pay my water bill now.
Mhm, mhm. And I say this all the time on this broadcast, and people, I've heard other people start saying it as well. But a lot of time, people pay for what they want and beg for what they need, and so they'll go out there and buy the new iPhone, and then have to beg for the money to pay their light bill, or beg for the money to pay their rent or mortgage or whatever, because they go out there, they want brand new the new Nikes or whatever. They want the Nikes. They go out there and they buy and they get the stuff that they want. They pay for those things, and then the things that they need, the necessities of life, now they don't have the money for it because they went out there and bought the things that they want. And we have to be able to separate want from needs, and that takes us right back to the initial question. Um, why do people do so much to come out to clear up their credit, just to go right back in debt?
Because shiny things are pretty.
Yeah, yeah, and they are, but are they worth it? Are
No,
they worth it? Yeah, yeah,
no.
that's crazy.
I have my ring here, my wedding ring.
Uh huh.
That was a gift. That was
Hmm.
actually an upgrade from my original, okay?
Uh-huh.
My husband got that on sale.
Yeah.
He waited until that crap went on sale to get that for
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Because that's one of those chocolate diamonds, and I don't know if you've
Yeah.
priced those, but those are not cheap,
Yeah.
depending
Exactly.
on what one you get, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And so now this was one of the cheaper ones, but still, it's like he's like, because he took me over to the jewelry store. He's like, pick out whatever you want, and I'm sitting there and I'm being
Mhm.
very frugal, right? I'm looking at
Yeah.
these little cheap ones and the ones
Yeah.
that aren't so expensive, because I'm being respectful of him,
Mhm.
right? And how hard he worked. And he's like, no, I know that's not what you want. Go get what you want.
Mhm.
I'm like, but
Girl,
no.
stop playing. Stop playing.
Yeah,
Get what you want.
exactly, exactly.
Please.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
are you sure? But I don't want to spend like that. He goes, I'm telling you, it's okay. Go get what you
Mhm.
want.
Yeah. Yeah.
But inside for me, it was like, but I really don't want to do that. But he loves me and he's telling me that he can do this for me right now and he wants to. And I
And,
think it offends him or hurts him in some way when I'm like, but no.
mhm. And see, you got to understand too. From a man's standpoint, to be in the position where he could get you what you want, and for you to go and almost and not, unintentional,
Mhm.
but to say no, I'm just gonna get this little cheap one right here, because no, that's like an insult to him, because now his chest is puffed out. Baby, I could get this for you. Go get what you want,
Yeah.
baby. Get what you want. And you come back with this little crackerjack. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, 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 no. When I said get what you want, go get what you want. I
Yeah.
got this. Go get what you want. And
Yep.
so that's where he was. And you came, like I said, you came back with a little Cracker Jack ring.
I did too. I really did too.
What?
But you know what? Because
What?
he sat on the bench, right, away from the store. And he was like,
Mhm,
just go in there, pick out what you want. Like he was giving me the opportunity to do that. And I think I went back and forth 3 times. And
mhm.
then finally he got up. Like you said, he has chest puffed out and everything. He's like, no.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
went
yeah.
back in there with me and he's like, I know what you want, woman, get it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. He came and puffed, chest puffed up. You came out there a little bit of ring. He was like,
yeah.
You deflated the man. Come on, man. What are you doing? No, no, no. That's not why we're here. But and let me ask you this question. This is a little different conversation. But do you think most women would prefer? And I'm talking about most women. And we talk back about the wedding thing and the marriage and all that stuff. Again, we're gonna revisit a little piece of that. Do you think most women would rather have the ring of their choice, this beautiful ring where they can go out there and just show it to everybody? Look what he got for
Mm.
me. Look how much he loved me. Or a down payment on a home?
Ooh, between those two?
Yes.
Wow, I don't know. Because okay, so today, right? Most couples are married before they actually have the home.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't really know. I know they want the ring, right? But I also know there are a lot of situations that I've seen where like in mine, right? My first wedding ring that I had was not anything glamorous. I
Mhm.
think we spent like maybe $100 on it,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
and but for me that was okay. And but what happens later on is the couples that maybe can't afford those nice things right off the rip, right? They'll upgrade as they go.
Yes.
So they'll
Yes.
get the house,
Mhm.
maybe the car comes after, and then after they're settled and they have all that, then they'll start buying, like the ring. They'll upgrade the ring to something that they like better, like
Mhm.
those things come after. So I think people would, in most cases, I think most married couples would rather have the financial security first
Mhm.
and have the house first, have all of those things squared away first before they have this.
Mhm.
You know,
You
that's
said
what I
you
think.
you said most, but you certainly did not
Most.
say all. Yeah. So there are some women out there. You feel as though, let me get a phone number. I just put it on the screen, but the phone number, you could definitely give us a call, be a part of the conversation, is 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. So you think most women would, but you think there is some women out there that want to have that ring so they can actually go out there and just show people, quote unquote, how much he loves. And does that really mean that he loves you more because he got you a big ring?
They equate it to love.
Yeah. Yeah.
They equate it to love. Oh, look at what he got me. He can
Hmm.
take care of me. That's what that ring says to
Hmm.
that other group of women. He
Hmm.
bought me a $20,000 ring. He can take care of me. But you know
Hmm.
what? That man is over there struggling
Yep. Yep.
and she doesn't know.
Explain to me this. Now, excuse me, excuse me. He bought you a $20,000 ring. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful ring, and it looks so nice on your hand. It really does. But why are you all living with his mother?
Exactly.
Why are you? He bought you a $20,000 ring? It's beautiful. It's the ring of your dream. Y'all are married. You's married now, but you all are living with his mother in the basement. Something
Okay.
something don't seem right about that.
No, it doesn't, but men will do it because men have been also conditioned to have this mentality that they have to get the biggest and the best.
Mhm, mhm,
Or they're it's not good enough, or their girlfriend, fiance, whatever, isn't going to stick it out with them because he's not buying the prettiest and the shiniest.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
this is the world of consumerism, though. This is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we have been trained to believe. And
Mhm,
then you also have reality shows now that all of these women are following. Oh, I wish my man could do that for me, and why can't he
mhm.
afford this for me? And we get into this mentality of fantasy when it's not. That's not reality. That's why
Yeah.
it's called fantasy, even though it's
Mhm,
reality TV.
Mhm.
They're not following typically everyday people. They're
Yeah.
following the
Yeah.
Kardashians. They're
Exactly.
following all of these stars who have mega millions.
Mhm. You would think some of I've seen what some of them said. It's just a whole facade where they really don't have as much as some people think they have. They really don't. But
No, they don't.
yeah,
I mean, now I think the Kardashians do. I think that they are pretty
yeah,
well
they,
off.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know, they are very well off.
Mhm.
But there are some of these other stars that have reality shows that people follow, and they think that they're living this wonderful, glamorous life. Like,
Mhm.
do you remember Val Kilmer?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So he just put out a documentary, and his documentary is actually really sad. He is busted.
Wow.
He's busted because he went through a divorce. He's having to pay X amount of dollars in alimony.
Didn't he
He
produce some shows? Didn't he produce some shows?
he may have, but and he
Yeah.
also has a voice box now,
Wow.
which is why we don't see him acting anymore because he ended up with
Wow.
something with his voice. I can't remember if it was a cancer, but
Mhm.
something took his voice, and he's got a robotic voice now, and
Mm.
he just doesn't even look the same. Because if you remember, he was a very good looking guy.
Wow. I don't know about all
He
that.
and he just doesn't
Look, I don't know.
look. Beauty can recognize beauty, Raheen. It doesn't matter, okay, male or female. Whatever. Men pride. Okay. But no, he was a pretty decent looking guy though, and to see him go from that status to having nothing to show for all of the hard work that he put in,
Mhm.
it was really sad. And because you think, oh, these guys are retired now, where are they now? You have all those questions because suddenly they just kind of phase out and you don't see them again. So you think they're living the high life. Like in
Mhm.
his situation, he's broke. He doesn't
Yeah.
have anything.
Wow. Wow. And watch this. Rico.
Yo,
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
man, I can't complain, man. Just grateful to see another beautiful new day, man. Out here getting it.
There you go. Now, Rico, did you hear that just now, man? She tried to make me say that he's a handsome man. Am I supposed to say that, Rico? How's she gonna try to put me out there like that? What is Rico? What's going
Oh,
on?
I didn't know she tried to make you say that. She was just making her own opinion. I thought she was just making her own opinion.
No. She said, you know how he's a very handsome man. Wait a minute now.
Oh, she said that.
Yeah.
All right. I probably, I guess that's what they say. You know what they say.
Yeah. What am I supposed to say to that? I'm not gonna say. I don't go down them roads, the alleys. But Rico, we asking a question this morning, and I want to hear from you. We got Stanley on the line as well. Stanley, we're gonna come to you in just 1 second. Rico, I asked the question this morning. Why is it that a lot of not everybody, but a lot of people pay so much money, and do so much to clean up their credit just to go back in debt?
Because that's the only reason they won't get credit, so they can get stuff.
Wow.
It's we programmed to be consumers.
Mm-hmm.
And then people studied the brain. They did rat experiments and showed you how they can introduce you to stimuli and what it can do to the brain and how your brain would be addicted to it or crave for it from that point forward. So it's really, to me, it's the psychology of addiction.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Once your brain starts getting introduced to different things that make you feel good, it brings you pleasure. I'm gonna tell you, it's always gonna go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, you can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what part of a human makes you stop wanting to do things to feel good unless you're broken?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's good you said most people,
mm-hmm.
because most people don't do anything to say, well, I want to say to do better in our eyes, but maybe that's a comfortable place for them.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're running up that credit and going back in debt, even though they supposedly that they have that debt,
mm-hmm.
maybe it's not because they can't afford to pay it off. Maybe it's just for the fact that they have to pay it and they don't have enough to go and get more stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Now, how much of this do you think, Rico, has to do with discipline or the lack of discipline?
I mean, totally a lack of discipline. I mean, that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what addiction does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you're addicted to things, sugar, gambling, sex, orgasms, drugs, which drug is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it gambling? Is it money? Is it cigarettes? Is it alcohol? Is it just being validated by other people?
Mm-hmm.
Status,
Mm-hmm.
power? You know, what makes you feel, what do you value and desire the most? You know, and see, some things, you know, people desire shopping.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole purpose in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, why make money if you can't enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that credit system thing made it to the point of where you can get more things and just make payments on it and not have to pay cash.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how convenient that sounds to a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So now, not only can you consume more, but you could pay it at your convenience.
I've even
You know, I
seen
had
situations.
a cousin that played in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him that when he got all his money, he was making good money. I said, man, you need to go ahead and pay cash for some of this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man. See, that's what they tell you. Everything gonna be about credit. What you do is you get everything on credit. Then you go and do other things that you want to do and just make payments on it. I said, yeah. I said, but man, it don't take nothing but one injury.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all this stuff you got, well, you won't be able to make those payments.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's a trap, man. I said, you know, if you got the money to pay cash for it, go ahead and pay cash for it. That way, if something happened in the next year or two, you got somewhere to lay your head regardless. Don't say you got to worry about his property tax.
Yeah.
And then Master P came out and said the same thing, and that's when it made sense to him.
Mm-hmm.
But by then, it was too late. He learned the hard way.
Wow, took that fall. And I've seen where now they got this thing where, you know, you go buy something, they say, well, you can pay for it in 4 or 5 different payments. They break it up into payments. And there's companies out there that's doing that. But, you know, naturally they're making money on the back end. They're putting interest and stuff like that on it. But you don't have to pay the full price up front. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Good morning, Stanley. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. Doing good, man. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, brother. We asking a question. Why is it that most people, or a lot of people fight so hard? They fight very hard to clean up their credit, get their credit back right, just to go back in debt.
Well, it's a lot of different reasons, man. One thing is the environment. You know, a lot of folks didn't have when they was growing up, so they want to have more now. So they get the credit cleaned up and they go get what they didn't have as younger people. And then plus there's a lack of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of things. Some people want to keep up with the Joneses. So the Joneses get a new car. They feel like, well, I'm going to fix my credit. I'm going to go get me a new car.
Mm-hmm.
Joneses get a big house. We'll get me a bigger house. So, you know, it's just a lot of different things. But it's mostly a cultural thing. Black folks didn't have a lot growing up. So a lot of them just want to have stuff now just to say they got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give y'all a prime example of a great role model and athlete. And, you know, we were talking about yesterday about how mothers, you know, try to raise boys and the men. Jason Tatum plays with the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
His mom is a financial genius.
Mm-hmm.
She told him, this is what we're going to do. The money from your NBA contract, you're not going to touch it. You're going to live off of your endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
He has not touched the money from his NBA contract since he's been in the NBA.
Wow.
They're living off the endorsement. So when you have somebody in your family or in your circle, and that's why you have to try to keep a nice, tight, progressive, and productive circle, it's always going to be somebody that knows more than you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to make sure you're around people like that make more sense or have more knowledge or more wisdom than you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he has not touched his money from the NBA. He's been living off of
wow.
his endorsements.
That's wise there.
As we get older, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So as we get older, when we learn stuff, it's our responsibility to share it with other people that we know, share it with our children, our community. You know, so they'll know better because a lot of folks just don't know better.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen it happen. I've seen folks get their credit score up to 800.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, the next year, you see them, they riding around in a brand new car or whatever. And that, you know, because that's what they wanted They shouldn't. They don't want to keep the credit score at 800. They just want to get it to 800 to get that next big thing, and that's what a lot of them do. So, and then some people get everything they want and don't care about the credit.
Exactly. Exactly.
I got what I want, so I ain't worried about that. So it's a lot of different levels to that thing, bro.
There really is. There really a lot of different levels. And we're going to get back into the conversation about the system. And we're actually talking about a piece or a part of it right now. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Toya, why is it that a lot of people, and I'm not going to say all because it's certainly not all, but why do a lot of people fight so hard? They fight real hard to get their credit back in line, get the credit back in order like it should be, just to go back in debt again. Why?
Oh, yeah, that's this spell we're in again in America. They have to find a way to keep you busy. So, of course, you know, for most of us, for me, especially for the most part, you know, it didn't make sense to give somebody else my money and they charge me interest, right? But then when you start to grow in life, like you say, there are things that you want that it makes it easier. So you don't want to pay a 24% interest rate, you know. Even if you had good credit and you pay everything off, you still not gonna do themselves no good because they need you to do something consistently. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually a trick, but no, like for me, right? Once I started going to school and I got $138,000 worth of school loans.
Wow.
Okay, for a master's, and they cheated me out of like $38,000 off of that I still can't get in touch with nobody to get back. But once I started to get that debt, when it came to looking for cars, when it was time for me to look for that home loan, when it was time for me to do some things, then I put myself locked up in the corner because cash wasn't working. Because you know what? I didn't save up $200,000 worth of cash to start my business. I didn't save up $200,000 worth of cash to buy my house flat out. I didn't save up $15,000 worth of cash to buy my car. So therefore, when it came to me looking to do other things with $138,000 worth of them loans, things are sticky now, right? Now you got some credit issues now. Now you top heavy. Now your debt ratio is out of whack and it's hard for you to be able to get things. So I think for most of us in our community, it's because there's another level that we're trying to get to, right? Like, listen, after I got all these degrees, listen, do you know what else you got to have to be a CEO?
What's that?
Great credit. You understand what I'm saying? Because they check those things like that and they want to make sure that you have a clean financial history. But even if you have $100,000 plus in loans, you still don't qualify to be able to assume that CEO position because you don't have an 800 credit score. You understand what I'm saying? So again, the more this tangled web starts to weave itself more and more outward, there are things that come along in this system that are a part of the spell that they need to be able to keep you intact to keep other things going. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, depending on what aspect you're coming from.
I don't know if it's still the same way, but they told me for a long time you had to have a real good credit score to even work in the bank because you know they think you want to try to, you know, if you don't have a good credit score, you might steal some of their money. Go ahead.
Right. Not only the bank, right? Like it was Waffle House at one point in time, honey.
Wow.
Well, if you don't get away from me, buy some waffles, sir. You understand me? I think it was Quick Trip, right? I think I interviewed with them as a manager. And then also, what you call it? Like Brinks trucks and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, there are quite a few positions, and not all of them are brain surgery type jobs either. You understand what I'm saying? That yes, one of their requirements to show that you are a responsible adult is doing that credit check and seeing what it's looking like. Yep.
And people and a lot of people don't realize, that even your insurance, your credit score affects how much money you're gonna pay for your insurance on your vehicles. It affects that, your credit score. There's a lot of things that go. Somebody was just saying something.
Yeah, and the reason they do that, no matter what the job is, the reason they do that for credit is they don't want you to be tempted.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you got bad credit, they think you don't have the money. So it's like, well, when I was a correctional officer, correctional officer, well, if you had 3 or more misdemeanors, most of the time you weren't going to get the job as a correctional officer, because that's speeding. You breaking the law. Even like a misdemeanor is just speeding or whatever, but that's breaking the law.
Yeah.
And then plus, they want you to have good credit because they don't want the inmates to have somebody to tip you, like bribe you.
Yep.
As far as helping them escape or bring contraband in. If y'all watch the news over the last few years, man, they're hiring people with decent credit, but they are being tempted.
Yep.
The girls are having sex with the inmates. A lot of the guys are sneaking in contraband. The girls sneaking in contraband. So they don't want you to have that character flaw where you could be easily persuaded to bring something across the guard lines or to allow someone to do something that is illegal across the guard lines. They just called a young lady that wants to in Macon or Savannah a couple of weeks ago. She's bringing in contraband to the prison. She's only been on the job about 8 months. So yeah, that credit thing, that's one reason they look at it, because they want you to have integrity and character, and they don't want you to be easily persuaded to break the law. And money does that to some folks.
Yeah,
some folks will do anything and everything for money.
Exactly. Zamari, I see you looking like, what in the world is going on? What's on your heart, sis?
Oh, sorry. No, I just was reading a news story about something that happened here. That's all.
Okay.
It just took my attention for a minute.
Okay. Is this whole credit system, do you think, Zamari, it's just a trap for us?
I don't know. I mean, I know that credit helps a lot of people do a lot of things that they wouldn't normally be able to do. I think it's hard to keep up with the game, paying off keeping the credit paid down. But I don't know that it's necessarily, some kind of trick per se. I think the interest is a trick. That part I think is a trick, right? But I guess in their minds, they got to get something out of it. Because at the end of the day, if you have a credit card and they're saying, hey, we're going to give you this much in credit, do whatever you want with it, and then all you're doing is using it, paying back into it to pay the debt back down, right? They're really not getting anything out of that because no money is going to them. But I think having a 30% interest rate, 20% interest rate, I think that's crazy. I don't think it should be that high, but it is,
Exactly.
In a lot of cases it is. And especially the worse your credit is. So I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily a trick, but I definitely don't. I think that the interest rate that's what screws us.
And Toya said something in the chat. She said it's loan sharking. And if you look at it, really, it's just legal. It's a legalized way of loan sharking, because they're giving you money and you have to pay all this interest back. In order to be clean of the debt, you have to pay them back what they give you plus all this interest. And based on your credit, the interest is higher and higher, so you end up paying more money back. So Toya, what did she talk to me, sis?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. My mute button was almost a pimp just then, and I almost said, touch that. But yeah, no legal pimping, yo. We don't even understand it. Listen, some of this stuff is just common sense, right? Why do I need to use you? Why do I need to give you my money for you to give me my money back with some and charge me for it? That's basically what it is, right? And again, we have to remember that in order for us to do some of these things, America has to put together a campaign. Like one time when Rico was telling us about how they got everybody to buy the Pepsi because they had all the nurses, you know what I'm saying? These are campaigns, again, that we use, they come up with, they sit back and they strategize on how to propel these states for nothing. And that's it, interest rates on the back of people who are already, listen, I'm so offended right now at the fact that, like this man just said, yeah, they do grade us on our score when it comes to having a job, but you're also allowing corporations to triple rent. So So am I stealing to pay the interest rate or just to pay my rent? Like, come on with the jokes. Am I stealing to get a car or to eat and put food in my mouth? Or we gonna go like John Q? Am I working to actually take care of my family? Or do I have to get a pistol and hold a whole hospital up just to make sure that my son gets a heart transplant? Because we're making sure that everybody else except for Americans are eating and taking care of their families and having decent cars to drive after an 8 or 10 hour day. Again, we're going back to this system that they allow corporations to render the benefits of what so-called Americans should be. And this is why, for me, it's a problem. Why do I have to be an American and go through all of this just to get help to make me better? So we all just wake up and want to steal. No, but these, again, they have specialists. You know how I know they got specialists? Because I just went to school and spent $138,000 to be one. For them to sit back and have plans and us say, hey, you know, this is what we're going to do with credit. This is what we're going to do with cars. You know, hey, this is what we're going to do when we want to roll out this and we want people to participate. This is all a plan. But I mean, come on. Some of this is for a reason or it's going to make sense. You know what I'm saying? And although I don't think that credit makes sense, if we're going to use it, there's a reason why we use it. You understand what I'm saying? To get specific things, because they will not allow American citizens to eat. They will only allow you to eat right if you're a corporation.
Wow. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Y'all put it down this morning.
I'm all right.
Toussaint, why is it that a lot of people would go so far and do so much to improve their credit just to go back in debt?
Keep up with the Joneses.
I wonder who them Joneses are, man. People talk about them Joneses all the time.
Did anybody ever figure out who them Joneses is? That's why you can't keep up with them, because you don't know who they are.
Exactly.
The Joneses and
they sure look nice.
Wow.
Whoever they are, because they've set the standard. They've established the pace that we're all trying to keep up with. Get your credit right. Get your finances right, just to go in debt.
Yep. Just to go in debt.
Fix your credit. Establish your finances. Just to start all over again. To get that big house, a nice car, and ride, and look good, and smell good, and feel good.
And right in that in a deeper hole than where you started.
Yeah, and anybody figured out where the Joneses stay?
Must be a nice house, because everybody trying to top it. Must be pretty nice.
It must be. It got to be. Because we chasing that bag. And look, man, I've gone to some people's house, and I would dare not use their bathroom, but they sure ride nice. I ain't going in there.
No.
Matter of fact, let me throw this out here for free. I'm not hungry.
No.
You want something to eat? No, I'm not hungry.
I'm good.
I ain't eating nothing come out that kitchen.
I am good.
But they sure look nice. I'm talking about on the outside. You never would think that people put on this facade, a good word, that they got it going. You would think that they got it going on.
Yeah.
Ask them, they'll tell you. But open that door to that house. They don't even have time to wash them clothes. Can't get in the closet.
Toussaint,
clothes after clothes.
I've seen people drive, around town in the best looking car you ever want to see in your life, man. They drive around the car. The car's amazing. Car's amazing. But they pulled up to an old shack of a house, man, where the walls about to fall over because they don't know how to prioritize. Huh?
They pull up to mama house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I had a person that they I think that was the government was giving away something, and they pulled up in a brand new car in the mama and daddy house.
Mm-hmm.
Their daddy said, "Don't you think you need to find somewhere to park that car?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they look like they had it going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they credit score is 200.
And 10. Stanley, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, man, everybody has a different reasoning for it. You know, my whole thing with it, if you're going to get in debt, use your credit, use it for something that is going to be long lasting or everlasting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, buy you some property, get that house you want. But a lot of folks, they don't do that. You know, so, and it's not because they can't do it, it's because they weren't taught to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like we talked about yesterday, culture and environment. If you grow up in a certain culture and certain environment, that's all you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's like I said, it's our responsibility, man, to pass the knowledge on that we have. Once we learn it, once you learn better, you do better. So once we learn this stuff, we have to teach it to the next generations coming. Because see, in school, you're not taught any of this stuff in school. In school, all you taught is basically how to follow the directions. You know, they try to teach us how to manage your money, how to start a business, you know, and stuff like that. You sit down, you listen to what the teacher say, you get these instructions, and you go home.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing put in place to be successful, if we look at that way.
Exactly.
You know, that's something they need to teach you in school now. They need to teach you how to get your credit straight, how to start a business, you know, how to manage a company, or, you know, stuff like that. Because we're really not far removed, man.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. I'm 59. We're really not far removed from the Jim Crow era, when we didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we still in a learning process in our generation. And as we get older, we're supposed to be smart and work smarter, not harder. So that credit, it is a tricky thing, but you do need good credit to get certain things, you know. But the key to the whole thing is once you get it and get what you want, learn how to maintain it and not just go out and get it at a whim because you can. And that's what some folks do as well. Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. Toya, I asked another question earlier, and I want to hear your heart on this right here. A young lady, and we something we talked about a couple of days ago about with the wedding and the marriage and stuff like that. A lot of times, women, they love having that beautiful ring. You know, the ring, and they walk around and they flaunt it, and they talk about how much. Look what he bought for me. Look how much he loved me. Do you think there are some women out there that would rather have that beautiful ring on their finger than a down payment on a home for them to live in after the wedding?
Course, some of us are special, and when we're special, we don't think the right way because we're special. So we think backwards, right? I've noticed my age group. You know, we be honest. Oh, tomorrow ain't promised. I said that when I was 25. Now I'm 45. I done had a bunch of tomorrows. So we be doing stuff, acting like using the excuse. Oh yeah, do it now. Tomorrow never promised. So yeah, we'll take that pretty ring probably. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's not necessarily all the time that we don't have good people to tell us different, because all of us had all kind of parents, good ones and bad ones, and they tell us the basics. And we still don't listen. We do what we want to do. We're gonna defy the odds. So no, I'm young. We can always get a house. I want that ring, honey. But we already know. Let's not play silly.
Yeah.
We already know we want the ring because we want to be seen. backwards, right?
Wow.
Now, as a girl, my thing is this. As a girl, you get to chillax. I mean, that's just in the perfect world, right? You should be able to chillax and, you know, show off your ring. That's what it's all about. Again, when we look at the only teachers we've had, which is television for most of this stuff, we think about the ring, the wedding, the showing off, the romanticism and all of that, you know, the running behind you and the fight and all that. And that's what we want in our real worlds. So we take shortcuts in the real world because, again, along with the people who are trying to teach us, our parents and stuff like that, if they're not right, we're not listening. So if we're looking at TV is selling us these fantasies, these Cinderella stories, these knight in shining armor needs, and the songs coming behind it. Oh, let's get married, buy your big ring, and you know what I'm saying? So I think all of that, when you're a woman coming up in this society, you're easily to get bombarded with what the Joneses got, what the Joneses wants, and not with our needs. So many, I mean, like, the message is not about our needs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be millionaires, and we don't want to make profits, you know what I'm saying? For our needs, we go to satisfy our wants, and that's what the campaign is about when it's about marketing. So yes, we are going to want the ring, and because like everything else, we are out of order.
Wow. That's good. Tucson, what do you say to that, man? Is there some women that would rather have that big, beautiful rock on her finger than a down payment on a house?
Look at their finger, and you can't find the house.
Wow.
I mean, really, you know that, man. Look, come on now, right? You got rings on every finger. We live in a show me society. Want to see something, you got to have evidence of we got it. We made it. Look at me. I've arrived. But follow them home, and you'll find out they don't have none. They you know, and some people, you know, and I have to say this because I know some people, they don't want a house. They don't want them on nobody's yard. They don't want to pay taxes on land taxes and this and that and other, so they stay in an apartment so that if something goes wrong with it, they call the landlord. There's people like that. So I guess ain't nothing wrong with that. Each his own. Everybody don't want that bag. Some people don't care nothing about it because it don't make no sense to them to spend all your money talking about a house that you got that you don't even own the land. The mineral rights, that ain't yours. You can't dig in your own. You know, you got water underneath you.
Yeah.
But you got a water bill. In your yard, there's water. But you better not dig and put you a well there. Fresh water, good clean, cold water.
That good well water
at your house. But you can't get it because it don't belong to you.
Wow.
You said it's your house. Anyway.
Ain't that something? Ain't that really? Exactly. Zamar, what do you say to this? We spoke briefly about it earlier. Do you think most people want that? A lot of women want that ring instead of that down payment on a beautiful home or a home for themselves?
I mean, like I said, I think most people want to have the stability first. I think most, but like I said earlier, there's also the other group out there of women. They just want the flashy, flashy. They want the shiny. Oh, look what he can get from me. You know, and I've known women who have flat out turned a man down because he couldn't get that perfect ring. Oh, it's too small. It's not what I wanted. He can't take care of me. He can't get me a ring.
Wow.
Are you stupid? He loves you.
Mm-hmm.
He would do anything in the world for you, but you're telling him no because it's not this big fat rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need a big fat rock on my finger to go out there and say, look at how much my husband loves me. Because this does not equate to love. That ring does not equate to price on love.
Exactly.
That's a whole other thing right there with women, because they want to put a price tag on love, and you can't do that.
Exactly. Stanley, talk to me, brother. What do you say about this whole ring situation, ring or the house? Which one do you think a lot of women would pick, the ring or the house?
Well, the women of today will pick the ring, but the smart one will pick the home. You know, because you can always get a ring later. But if you go out and spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a ring just put on your finger, that's not helping your home. That's just helping you personally just to show off. And I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of the nephew Tommy Pranks, and I give y'all a prime example. The guy had Tommy Prank. Well, girl's sister had Tommy Prank her about her wedding ring. The woman had taken the wedding ring down to get it appraised, and Tommy called back and told her the ring wasn't worth $50.
Yep, I saw that.
And she went. She went off on her husband. You know, it was a prank, but it had it been me, I would let her go after that. But she wanted to know how much the ring was worth before they even got married. You know, so she really wasn't worried about trying to make the marriage work. To me, she's more concerned about the material things. So,
exactly.
The women of the day would, they would want the ring because they think more about status and how they look. And they think about longevity and getting their home and get that thing set up, for the future.
Exactly. Toya, I saw your reaction. What's on your heart, sis?
Well, my thing is, if we broke,
Yeah.
See, I pay attention to these things as a man.
And
if we don't have things in order, because if you're the leader, right, I'm gonna let you rock. I'm not gonna tell you nothing. I shouldn't have to tell you nothing because you already know better, right? But let's just say, and I know a couple of guys that, that made a left turn for me when I saw that. Because don't get me wrong, right? I know I might try it, right? But I know you're not supposed to be putting me ahead of nothing else. So if you put me ahead of everything and you buy me a big rock, I'm going to eat you up and spit you out for dinner. Like, we can't be broke. And I've met two guys like this in my life. And it's like, oh, well, I can't get no ring because the kind of ring I want, I never never got the damn ring because it was too much and you could never afford. You could never afford it. So you sit up here that, no. We got to go in steps. You know what I'm saying? And as a man, you need to be clear on that. And if you even play with somebody, like you finna try to do that, you soft and squishy. Because it's not the right place and you don't need to be with her. If it's two of y'all in one car, let me tell you who big rock you're not getting. Let me tell you that. If we don't have a house, right, because we can do things with this house. Like, I get the whole apartment thing, you know what I'm saying? But there are right ways to life, and I don't know why everybody act like we don't know what the right way is. We just don't know. There's a right way to do things when we are not under this spell. And the right way normally is you need to be grown and have your own stuff going on. You need to be grown, have your own stuff going on. And the man need to have some kind of balance because the woman will have you all over the place with her emotions. So you can't come now. If you, what's his name? Kyrie Irving or whatever these little boys' names is. I don't know these folks' names no more. I don't even use my time looking at other people do their craft and be millionaires at it. I ain't done it for myself. Right? Now, if you a superstar, a billionaire, you just signed a contract for $12.8 billion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boom. A $30,000 ring, you doggone right. That's crumbs to you. But if you got to get your tail up here and you getting something on an hourly and it ain't hundreds of $1,000s a year and you walking you finna make me cuss. Yo, special behind around here talking about a big rock. You don't need to be thinking about no big rock right now because you miss so many little pebbles.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And again, these are things we want to pay attention to, but sometimes, right? I'm broke too, right? So I get it. Oh, look what he did. He went out of his way. Oh my gosh, he just bought me this ring. No, the spirit of that is wrong. And this is what we got to start paying attention to. The spirit behind some of these things are dead wrong. And if you're going out of order, trying to get a big ring before you did anything else, everything else is going to be out of order too.
Zamari, I think a big part of what we're talking about right now is priorities. And do we mainly have our priorities in line?
I mean, like Toya said, like I said, Dr. Toya speaking here. Come on, hey girl, get it. But she's right. We have everything out of order, and it is about those priorities. Okay, you're supposed to raise your children to learn the order of things. Get your education first. Education first. Be as financially secure as you can be. Make sure you have your finances in order. Get married. Get a house. Get the car. Have the babies. That is the way you are supposed to do it. And people, if you pay attention, and people who do it that way, who put things in that order, are very successful. They have that little nest egg put back for their retirement. They're not up to their ears in debt. Most of the time, the ones who are smart. Now, there are some who are still idiots. Okay. But the ones who are smart, they do it right. And my husband and I, his name's Ryan, but we sit back sometimes and we look at that and we're like, man, if we would have done it right, because we did everything out of order, right? Okay. We had the baby first, 2.5 of them, because I was pregnant with my third one when we finally got married. We had three babies almost first, got married while I was pregnant with the third one. And we still were living in an apartment, and it took us years after, up until just a couple of years ago, before we were finally, digging ourselves out of that hole.
Yeah.
But we sit here and we think to ourselves all the time, like, if we would have we watch other people, we see how they did things. Oh, they went to school, they got their education, they had all of that stuff laid out correctly, and they are successful. And we go, God, why didn't we do that? Why didn't we wait and do it the right way? And that, it's kind of like those epiphany moments when you meet people like that and you see their success and how they did things. And then now we have that wisdom to tell our own children, education first.
Yeah, exactly. Stanley, priorities. Do we prioritize like we should?
Well, most of us don't, but then, like I say, you get back to the culture and environment thing. If you was brought up out of order, you're going to do things out of order until you learn how to do them the right way. It's like a lot of folks grow up in dysfunctional families, and they don't realize they're in a dysfunctional family until they get away and go join the military or go to school or whatever, move to a different neighborhood and see how things are supposed to be. Like, oh man, that's how normal people function. I've been dysfunctional for 30 years and didn't know it. So a lot of people don't know how to prioritize things. And they have to be taught. And like I said, once again, it goes back to now, we have to teach our youth and children, grandchildren, people coming on behind us the right way, how to prioritize things. Because if you don't know, you can't do it.
Hey Stanley, have you ever ran into have you ever ran into grown people, men and women, that think they have it together and they're messed up, man. They tore from the floor up. don't know how to prioritize, don't know, how to line things up in the right way. Grown people, 30, 40, 50 years old. Have you ever run into that?
Yeah, and we always will, because you have some folks that never leave their environment. And that's what I'm saying. If you don't realize you're in a dysfunctional environment, then how can you change? You're thinking everything is fine. I know people in Thomaston and Macon and other places that have never even gone out of their area.
Wow.
A friend of mine I used to work with, he bragged about how he had never spent the night away from his mom's house. At that time, we was about 35, I guess.
Good Lord.
I'm like, bro, I said, that's nothing to brag about. You said you never spent the night away from your mother's house. You should have your own house. Or at least an apartment or a trailer or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had a son. He brought his son into that same environment. So he was teaching his son the same thing that he knew. So that's all you can do is show people what you know.
Yeah.
So until you change your environment and change your circle, as we talked about earlier, sometimes you have to change your circle to grow.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks out there, man. I know guys don't even own a car, right?
Good Lord.
50 years old, 60 years old, don't even own a car, don't know how to drive. Still in the same, basically the same predicament they was in 30 years ago.
As a teenager.
That's all they know.
Yeah, they're in the same situation.
That's all they know.
Yeah. Wow. That's that's a lot. That's a lot. Tucson, what do you say to that? And Toya with the T coming to you next.
No, I missed something. I had somebody come in. I'm sorry.
We talking about priority, and do people really know how to prioritize in life? Because everything that we've been talking about right now is based on, I think it's based on or surrounding by priorities. Excuse me, by priorities. And a lot of times people priorities are not lined up, and so they find their life in a terrible situation. What do you say to that?
Well, it depends on what your priorities are. I mean, really, because everybody got different priorities. The thing first. The thing first. I almost repeated it again. The thing first. What do you do first? And what's in the mind to think about? Well, what's first? Because first we want this beautiful boy. I can't wait to get with her. Or him. He looks so. Boy, look there. Priorities jacked up. And you do get with them. And boy, it feels so good. She's just so soft. Priorities jacked up.
Tucson, I don't know where you're going right now, brother. I don't know where you're going right now, but go ahead.
I'm heading somewhere.
Okay. I don't know where you're going, brother, but go ahead.
Here, I'm finna drop the bomb.
Okay.
Here come the baby. Here come the baby. And from that point on, you're trying to fix it. Because you got 18 years in marriage. Well, ain't no marriage. I'm sorry. Didn't even think about that. There was no marriage. Y'all just stay together for years. Priorities jacked up. Forgot how good y'all look together. Forgot about that. Then that bad attitude started kicking in. Because now you got to get it, because that child crying. Priorities jacked up. Because you didn't have the priorities set in order before you started. You thought I thought mom and daddy was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it. Not just for me now. I grew up with mom and daddy. And daddy went to work. Mama stayed home. I'm the last of 12 children. I didn't know that chicken had that many pieces.
It don't.
But she made it have it. And then you had some of the chicken in the gravy.
Yeah.
You see, you talk about priorities. Some people, they get with somebody, but you didn't think about, she don't know how to cook. And she will not. Her mindset says, I'm sorry, ladies, I'm sorry. I work just like you. Priorities jacked up. So we both trying to get it, trying to outdo each other. I don't want you to make more money. I would love you to make more money than me. Sure do.
Oh yeah.
But I'm saying we don't have a foundation for our priorities that will hold us. So all we doing is fumbling around in the air, trying to find our place in this society. We look from the outside based on, I'm gonna go back to that again, the Joneses standards, which we don't know who they are.
No,
so
have
we're
no
trying
idea.
to chase this dream, the standard of society, their priorities that they have created that ain't even real. So we chase our way through life, and before you know it, end the story, somebody burying you, and you leave it all behind, and you broke, and your children broke, and your grandchildren broke.
Wow. That's true. Toy, you would have talk to me. Priorities. Do we have our priorities in order?
Some people do, some people don't. It ain't what's my priority might not be your priority. Everybody's priority ain't college. That was my priority right now. I felt like I didn't do it right. Like Z said earlier, I feel like I didn't do it right the first time. So why am I still sitting here trying to spin this wheel? So I took my butt back to school through the struggle. But that's not a lot of 40-year-olds' priority right now. It's not their priority.
Yeah.
So see, in this life, it get tricky. I done been out of trying to run this life like everybody else. Go back and do it the right way. And for me, it was go back. It was like me and God came up with something a long time ago. No matter what happened, you can push it down all you want to. Go back and do what I told you to do. And that's what I did. That was my priority. He didn't give everybody else that priority. You understand what I'm saying? So it's to each his own. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking around a lot and see how the devil tricked me out of forfeiting, allowing, because I knew better. And I see people all the time in a position that I know should have been me, but I chose to be goofy and do other goofy things. So those weren't my priorities, but they're going to be now. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends, right? Because everybody's priority is not the next person's priority. This is still life. We still have choices and decisions. And we still got an opportunity every day we wake up to choose what our priorities are going to be that day. And everybody don't choose the good ones. Some of us priorities is to get up and manipulate people. Some of us is, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to live in this place, so I'm going to go manipulate a man with a lot of money. You know, I'm really not going to love him, but, you know, I'm going to put my makeup on and go love him and then get the baby and, you know what I'm saying, and get child support because that's my priority. Well, you know what? Listen, that's not me. Guess what? That's why I'm a broke broad because I'm not finna be using to manipulate people. That's no longer my priority. You know what I'm saying? Because you get caught up on trying to live other priorities. You forget about your own. You don't have none of your own because your priority is always on manipulating somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? So in this life, for those of us that have our priorities out of whack, we kind of see it. You know what I'm saying? When you get to know people, you just know. Like we just talked about a lot of them. You got a car, no house. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got the big ring, you got the Jordans, you on a bus with Beats headphones and they running $300, right? You know what I'm saying? So different things are different people's priorities. And then also too, depending on what level we on, because hold on, wait a minute. Just because I make $725 don't mean that a priority in my life ain't to make me feel good. So if I do it in, you know what I'm saying, going to spend a check on headphones or a nail, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, to you in the level that you're on, you might not think it's a priority, but I'm way down here. And you need to keep your head looking forward and quit worried about me down here and what I'm making a priority because we on two different levels. You know what I'm saying? You got levels to life and priorities. It just depending on where you're coming from, on if you focus on it or not.
Exactly. Let me go to Shanavia. Shanavia, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good. We're talking about priorities, but I'm gonna take you back to the last question I asked. A lot of women do you think they would be more? Which would they select? That big beautiful ring on their finger, that that he bought for her, that big beautiful ring, or down payment on a home?
Lord, it's a toss-up. I mean, you gonna have your women that's gonna go for the ring because it's just like, oh my God, for whatever reason, this signifies how much he loves me. But I mean, there's a lot of women with some fabulous rings that are miserable right now.
Absolutely.
And then you'll have the other set of ladies that will go for the house because, I mean, yes, the wedding may be beautiful, but baby, where we go live afterwards. And not just go for the house, go for the land too. We need to own the land too.
Yeah.
And the house. So I'm in that category. Give me the house and the land. We can forego the wedding.
Yeah.
The wedding don't mean nothing because you ain't gonna enjoy it no way. The wedding is for everybody else to come and supposedly celebrate you, not bring a gift, but eat up all the food, and you going into debt to do what? So an expensive. Not saying that I would not want one, but that's not a priority. That's not a priority for me. If I have to choose between the actual wedding, and the house and the land, give me the house and the land all day long. We can build, we can make money off of that. I can't make money off that wedding.
Yeah, exactly. And that takes us right back to where we are right now, Navy. Do most people have their priorities in order?
I think that there is a percentage of people that do have priorities in order because either A, they were taught that from an early age, or the people that have their priorities in order are in the B category like me, that had to learn through trial and error because I was not taught that at an early age. Financial literacy was something that I had to learn literally through trial and error of watching my mom and her like telling me, oh, it'll just roll off in 7 years. And whenever you're 22 years old, it's just like, okay. And then it's just like a few years later when you're really like getting into adult world, I had to look at my mom and I told her, I was like, Tammy, I will never come to you for financial advice ever again. That's the first time I called my mama her name. Now she made me pay for it, but I'm just like, girl, who was telling you this stuff? And why did you tell me? So I had to go and educate myself, and I had to I had to learn financial literacy. So whenever my little cousins came along, whenever my siblings came along, whenever they were like so excited about their first credit card or getting their first store credit, now make sure you can pay for this because you ain't got no job right now. And whenever that bill come rolling in, make sure that you have provision for what you're trying to get.
That's good. Toussaint, priorities, brother. Are they totally out the window, man? Do we even know what priorities are? Do we take time to acknowledge or recognize what the priorities are and act on it? Toussaint, wake up.
Go ahead, Ryan. No, I'm not sleeping. Go ahead.
I need to go to somebody else real quick.
Well, when you talk about priorities, I'm multitasking, unfortunately.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, go on, Raheem. Go home. I just got sidetracked.
Okay. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
I don't like it.
Toya with a T?
Okay, yeah. What was the question?
We still talking about priority. We're gonna go move into them. We're gonna go back into the system because we said we're gonna talk about the system today. But I want to stay on this priority just a minute or two more and find out what is it that got us so off course. What is it? Why don't we have an opportunity? Why don't we know what our priorities should be? And it's like you said, and to your point, everybody have a different line of priorities, but shouldn't they line up in some kind of way?
Yeah, well, the fact of the matter is a lot of us know better, but oftentimes we start off in the beginning wrong. And for most of us, we all go down the aisle first and foremost of either not making sure we're educated or having those kids before we're stable and married, right? And then once we cross them two avenues, it's like you start, no, you're coming out the gate backwards in the negative. You understand what I'm saying? Because you already ain't took care of you. Excuse my English. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being me right now. You already ain't being taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? 16, 17, little piece of job, 725. And then either you dropping out, moving out your parents' house, because even the bad parents, they wasn't feeling that. Oh, you think you're going to drop out and leave? You know what I'm saying? They still had some kind of concept, but they were just retarded. You know what I mean? So either you're going to move out and still be irresponsible because you're 18 and you just don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And 17 of us make millionaires out of that, right? Or the other half, you know what I mean, is the one where we had those kids. So now you minus 2, right, for the home team. And you ain't even got the priority of how to take care of the one up yet. You understand what I'm saying? And then at 40, you sitting up there talking about, well, where did I go wrong? What you mean where you went wrong? Here we go, simple mathematics again. You can't, I think this is integers. You can't have minus 2.
Yeah.
Then take care of 1. Then go add another 1. Ain't making but 7. And now, see, listen, how do you say you gonna add up in a negative? You understand what I'm saying? And until out of all of that, until you dig yourself out of that hole, whichever priority you use, some of us make up the excuse that we got to do illegal things to do it. Oh, I had to strip. Oh, I had to sell drugs. Oh, I had to sell kids. Oh, I had to sell dogs. Oh, I had to fight dogs. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? We use all these excuses on why we got to be goofy. And then we get caught up because why? Our priorities. Our priorities. You understand what I'm saying? So oftentimes we start out of the gate in the negative. And to try to catch up is going to take a lot. And if we're young and experienced, and like a very valid point, maybe this me. I love my mama, my daddy, but some of their advice was goofy. Yeah. It was goofy advice. And again, when here we go with these stages and levels again. You're the parent, you're the authoritarian. You're supposed to have been there, done that, know what you're telling me. Now open up your mouth, telling me nothing wrong and goofy. So where did you just put me again? In the negative. In the negative. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why, again, when you start sinking like that and you on your negative level number 7, listen, it ain't no need to fight no more. The thought of that'll just kill you and you gonna die. So the only other thing you can do is I still gotta have a piece of me, and I'm still gonna spend this check on these Jordans because I'm gonna, you understand what I'm saying? It ain't no coming back from this. Wow. Ain't no coming back from 7 levels negative because of the pass down. You understand what I'm saying? And the fight, I know that there's a way from the fight, right? God got me walking through this valley of the shadow of death right now. Been there, done that, right? Doing it again. I get it. But sometimes the fight can just seem so overwhelming. And when you come in this game and you still can't read very well and you still can't write very well, right? Again, you got them 7 levels of negative. And I think I'm going to make this a book, y'all. You got them 7 levels of negative that you got to try to fight back to even get to the surface and swim and be normal. And that is very challenging for a lot of people, depending on the age, the support system still. So again, this tricky web that we weave between the system and the one we weave for ourselves, again, only a God can pull you out of that. I'm just going to drop that. Leave it right there.
Wow. Zma, she put a lot out there. Talk to me, sis. And
I love her. I love you so much, Toya. I love you so freaking much, girl. Like, oh my God, like just give her the show today.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I mean, she's right though. She's absolutely 1,000% right with everything. You know, you keep going into the negative and you got to keep swimming back to the top. Like, man, priorities, and people don't know how to prioritize anymore.
Trying to swim upstream.
Or, you know, like she said, when you have parents that give you messed up advice, goofy advice, and you're like, wait, but that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
And you got to try to make sense of something that don't make sense and figure it out for yourself. It's really hard. Or, you know, and you can even be surrounded by idiots, a bunch of freaking idiots, and you're trying to get advice from them. And you can't. You're trying to figure out something that you can't figure out because you're not putting yourself in the right environment to get that right advice because you want to be around the idiots. Or maybe you don't know they're the idiots, you know? But it's hard. It's really hard to dig yourself out of the hole. And especially what's frustrating for me is when you got good people that want to do good things and they get stuck in that. And they can't climb out, and nobody wants to help them. Exactly. Nobody wants to help them out of that. But then, but look at this person over here. Like Toy was saying, they've got the Beats, they've got the Jordans, they've got all these things that they're prioritizing in the wrong way. But then everyone wants to help them because they're poor, broke, and busted. But they don't want to help the one who is trying to prioritize correctly and do things correctly. And we suffer for it. And we're the ones that have the most to give to society.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, I'm just going to leave it there. Toya said it all. I don't have to say no more. I think you can just stop the show today.
There you go. Just go on. Just go home. Go home. But let me go to a Vince. Vince had a comment on I'm gonna put it on the screen here. And Vince, the phone line, and for everybody, the phone line's open. Give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input. And he's talking about being able to reevaluate. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, I'm gonna start you off with what we started with this, and we're talking about, do you think most women, Cassandra, and we talking about priorities right now and being able to prioritize, and that's why this question here, can you think most women, a lot of women, would rather have that big beautiful ring? Oh, he bought me this big beautiful ring. It's so beautiful. Look how much he loved me. Oh, girl, he loved me. Or a down payment on a house.
Well, the ones I know, because I consider them wise women and not foolish women, as the Bible says. The Bible talks about foolish women. They would want the down payment on a house. I mean, a ring is a ring is a ring is a ring, but a home is somewhere where you can, even if it's a starter home, where you can begin to build something, a legacy for your children. So for me, I believe that let's put it like this: the women that I know, they're not even thinking about no big ring. If we can put a down payment on a house, that's what they would be rolling with.
That's good. That's good. Let me see who all we got on the phone line here. Let's go back to Navy. Navy, what's on your heart? Sis, talk to me.
Oh, I'm multitasking, Mr. Raheem, but I mean, I did hear that sermon that Toya preached. Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen.
So that was good. But I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything in particular, anything more to say on that on that subject that we were talking about before, other than, I mean, learn through trial and error, man. And just because mom and them did it, don't mean that you have to follow in that same footsteps. I'm the last of the Mohicans in my family. I'm literally the last one to get married. Everybody, all my cousins, everybody are either engaged. My sisters, everybody's already either engaged or married. but that's the standard in my family.
Mm-hmm.
People, I'm in my mid-30s, so I'm 36 years old. By the time most people in my family were 36, they were just going back to college. They were just getting into their career. So I just flipped the bread. I just flipped it around. I did what they did last first, so that whenever it's time for me to get married, or if that's even a priority, I wanted to make sure that I was stable as I possibly could. Because see, I saw my mom and I saw the way that she struggled and how she needed to get out of a horrible situation, but couldn't because she had no provision for her. And she had to wait and she had to stay in there. And I'm just like, I refuse to be in that situation. So is it a little odd whenever you go into, the family gatherings and, you get the $1 million question of, girl, when you go get married and have some kids, when you stay out of my uterus? That's when I'll do it. Talk to Jesus about it. I don't know.
Wow. Ladies, let me ask you this question. I'm going to go to Toussaint because I want to hear his response to what you all say to this. Is it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing? I know we all know how tradition says the man's supposed to get down on one knee and ask for the woman's hand in marriage. But if she's tired of waiting, yeah, I told you I'm going to go there. Can Zamari, can the lady get down by the ring and propose to the man?
No. Why would she do that? Oh, I gotta hear what Toya's got to say on this. Ooh, but no, I don't think. No, I think that's taking away from that moment, that special moment, right? With the girl being like, I don't know. Okay, so for me, so it goes both ways, right? The girl chooses the guy chooses the girl. They realize, hey, we want to be together forever. That's great, right? But when you have a man that wants to commit to you and is telling you, I love you, I want to be with you, you are the one, I'm sorry, but that makes me feel special. That makes me feel special.
He can't feel special knowing that you want to marry him?
Yeah, he can. Yeah, right? I mean, but I don't know. I'm very traditional like that. I want my husband, and it doesn't have to be on one knee. Okay, I'll say that. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be him getting down on one knee particularly. But it's just that moment where he's presenting the ring and just asking you, it's like, I went out and I picked this ring and I had you in mind, and this is what I want to do. I want to spend my life with you. Like, he went through all of those steps, right, to make that so special. And my husband surprised me with the ring, right? And he was so nervous. I remember that. He surprised me with the ring and all that. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I do think that it should be the guy, not the girl so much.
But in this modern day and time, things have flipped. Things has quote unquote evolved. And because of the fact that thing has evolved, and if she's tired of waiting, yet they've been together for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years, and she's tired of waiting. She go out there, she say, look at here, I'm gonna get the ring, and they go out on a dinner or date or whatever, walk in the park, and she present the ring to him. Will you marry me? She get out on one knee. Will you marry me? Is that a terrible thing, Toya? I wouldn't dare come to you right now. Hold on, Toya.
I think it's taboo. I'll say I think it is still taboo. I know. I
would not dare go to her right now. I would not dare go to her right now. There's no way in this world. No, I would not dare. As a matter of fact, Toussaint, you back with us? Toussaint, you there? Okay, Toussaint may have walked away. Let me get to.
Yeah, I'm listening to y'all. I'm sorry, I'm listening and I'm getting to
get to it. Let me see. Should I come back to you, Toussaint? I know you're at work. Should I come back to you?
No. I want to get into here right where you are. Now go ahead. I want to be clear on what you're saying.
Now, if the woman is tired of waiting, and we know the traditionally the man get down on one knee and say, you mean it, and give that beautiful speech. Will you marry me? Can we spend the rest of our lives here? Will you marry me? We know the traditional way. We know how that goes. But if she's tired of waiting too long, it's been 5, 10 years. She's tired of waiting. She go out there, she get a ring. Is it a bad thing that she get out on one knee and say, "Will you marry me?" Is that a terrible thing?
You know, you got women that's willing to carry me across. No, not me, but men across the threshold. Okay. I'm glad you came to me. It's good. That's right on time.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you carry me across the threshold? I know you want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We done got so desperate to the point where, yeah, not only they're willing to turn it around. Really, some of our, I'm the head of the household. They're the head of the household.
Mm.
So if you don't get down on one knee, they get down on how you seen it. They go by the ring. They get everything together. They get on one knee. They propose, and they're willing to carry you across the threshold.
Mm. Good
Matter of
Lord.
fact, if they can't pick you up in their arms, they'll ride you on their back.
Wow. Good.
Tell me when I'm lying.
Hey, brother, go ahead. Go. Like I said, and I'm sitting here, I'm watching Toya. Toya got to wait for a few minutes because I see she's fired up right now. She is fired up, and so y'all when I call on Toya, y'all put your seatbelt on because she's in a place right now. Cassandra, what do you say to that? Is it okay if this woman, she's tired of waiting? Cassandra, it's been 5, 10 years. They've been together. They know they're gonna be together. They love each other. Why can't she ask him to marry her? Get down on one knee, buy the ring. Will you marry me? Cassandra, why can't she?
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. In your imagination, just think about that. That to me, for a woman, I don't care how independent you are. That is the meaning. First of all, if he's not thinking enough that after 5 years, 10 years, he has not at least proposed to you and y'all engaged at least, then I would have all kind of questions about that relationship. That's something, I've taught relationships even in the prison system. You do not. I mean, let the male be the male. And if he does not want you, because if he wants you within 5 years, he should know whether he wants to be with you. And he needs to at least ask the question, or you guys sit and have a conversation. Hey, we've been at this for a while. What do you think? This is what I suggest, to a man that wants to remain, even if he got cold feet. You guys need to sit and have the conversation. And a woman should have enough about her to say, hey, we've been in this now 3, 4, 5 years. Where do you see it going? Because my desire is to be married. And if that's not what you want, then maybe we need to, reevaluate the relationship. Don't be stupid sitting around waiting 5, 10, 15, 20 years for somebody to marry you. He don't want you that bad. He wants the benefits of what's going on, but he does not want you that bad if he has not at least respected you enough to have the conversation.
Wow.
Women need to stop being so desperate.
Wow. Is it desperate or she's in love?
It's desperate. Let's just make that plain. You desperate if you waiting around 5, 10, 15 years for a man to ask you to marry you, and you giving him you giving him all the cookies. He's eating the cookie, the cake, everything. Oh Lord, I almost said something. Okay, I'm done.
Navy, what do you say to that, Navy? Because this lady, they've been together, they love each other, they know they love each other, they know they're going to be together. He just maybe he's a little shy, maybe he's whatever he is, and he have not asked the question. Is it a terrible thing for her to go get the ring? She want to be married. She want to be married to him. Is it a terrible thing for her to go get the ring, get down on one knee and say, "Will you marry me?"
That sounds great and all, but we not going to give no therapeutic counselor answer with this because I shared something. I shared the exact same thing on my Facebook page, and I'm going to double down on what I said. I will separate salt and sugar, granulate by granulate, before I get down on my knee, go buy myself a ring for a
Come
husband.
Come on,
for a
Navy.
husband, not a wife. If I wanted a wife, I'd go get me a wife. Because ain't no way I will roll my hair with rice before I get down on my knee and ask another man after 5 years to marry me. Why am I begging you to act right when I got people begging me to act right? That's no. That dog ain't go hunt.
But that dog ain't gonna hunt. But my thing is, y'all know y'all gonna be together. Y'all been together for 5-10 years. Only thing is, he just have not asked you yet. Y'all still gonna be, whether he asks you or not, y'all still gonna be together because y'all are together. So why can't you push the narrative a little bit and say, look at here, I'm tired of waiting. I want to be married. I desire to be married. Will you marry me? Why can't she do that in this day and time? In this day and time, everything has changed. Why can't
by all means, any lady that wants to do that, just like that young lady that did that, and that baby told her to get up and cut on the music. I'm just not going to be in the like that. If that's what they choose to do, all means. But I mean,
Navy. Is it that? And I didn't see what you're talking about, but is it that she's afraid? Is that one of the reasons why a lot of women won't do it, because she's afraid of the rejection, or is it just because it's tradition that he have to do this, and and people have drawn a picture to say that, okay, if we're gonna get married, you have to be the one to ask me. What is it? Why can't she take the lead in this situation?
I don't know if it's for other women what it is. I mean, like, there's a lot of layers that we could go today. It could be the fact of I don't mind being the head of a household in every aspect, including who's gonna marry who. But I feel like, as for me and my household, I'm gonna make that's a conversation that we're gonna have long before 5 years get here. Because if we are approaching each other at some point in the process, that conversation is going to come up long before 5 years. So there's no, if I'm waiting 5 years, it's because either A, I don't think I can do any better than him. B, I still have some trauma, some stuff that I need to take care of. And I feel like that, I want to start over again. Or C, it's just like, he's going to change. He's going to do it. He's committed more to his fantasy league football team than he is to you at this point. No, ma'am.
Wow.
I'm not. It ain't for me. It ain't got nothing to do with insecurity. I'm sure we all have or desperate. Like no. It has nothing to do with tradition, because I love the rock tradition. I love to challenge tradition, but that one right there, I just cannot get with. But by all means, if that's your little red wagon to pull, if that's what you choose to do, if you like it, I love it. It just ain't for me.
All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Toya with a T. Why is it such a thing, man? She want to be married. She loved the man. He loved her. He just have not jumped over the broom and made that, or posed that question. But she's ready. She's ready. Yeah, they're gonna be together. She's ready. Why can't she ask him? Buy the ring, get down on one knee, look him in his eyes, and say, we've been together all this time, and I love you, and you're gonna be with me. We're gonna be together for the rest of our life. Marry me. Why can't she do that?
Out of order. I might as well wear your boxers. I could be standing up too, but I don't make it no habit. What are you talking about? First of all, Miss Cassandra and Miss Navy, thank you so much. All the ladies gave me relief, right? Because that's out of order. How am I going to know who is the man and who is the woman here? That is the problem. That right there. Be a man.
So he's still a man. He just didn't ask.
No, you're not. Listen, there's a culture when it comes to being a woman, man. Okay, you can get wet, right? But no, you're supposed to keep your coat over your daughter and your wife's head, man. Because you the man, you the one that get dirty. You the one that get down on your knees. You better not be no man standing there letting no woman get on your knees, boy. What's wrong with you, boy? What's wrong with you, boy? Boy, listen. No, you a man, and a woman is delicate, and it's to be treated as such. Now, okay, listen. Listen, at the 2-year mark, I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't ready at the 2-year mark. It was the prime of my career. I was working a lot of hours, man. Listen, I'm rocking now and I'm doing what I do. By the year 7 roll up, hey, listen, wait a minute. But hold up, you did ask me a year or two, right? And I did say, no, I'm not ready. And you didn't do it right. You didn't have nothing in your hand. You didn't come correct. Now we're going to do this right. Now you offended. Now you're offended. Well, the next time this happened, you'll be asking me, well, I wouldn't care what the circumstances is. It don't go like that. And I'm not asking. I don't care if I was wrong. I don't care what you think. And because I love them, it did wind up like in a blink of an eye. Them 10 years flew past, man. And you're right. I still love you. But you know what? I'm still not where I want to be yet, married. Right? But I'm cool. Right? And 5 more years slip past. And now you being cocky. So see, look, we're going to clip this right on here. Because now I'm on a whole nother level. And I just noticed that I'm glad I didn't marry because you're goofy. What? What? I don't believe I just wasted them 10 years. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? Because sometimes stuff like that happen. But no, we got to be in order here. And that's what's wrong with the world. We out of order. That's why when women are dressing up like men right now, letting their boxers hang off their pants right now, because they think they are men. And listen, I was raised by my father. And he distinctly taught me that you are still a little girl and a little woman, and you were not built like a man. You are not a man. Don't think you can beat no man. Now, I may teach you some tactics, but you'll never be stronger than him. You know what I'm saying? There are just certain things that we're just designed that we're men, and it goes with being a man and then you being a woman, and you need to know your place. And even though I'm a strong, fearless woman, more fearless than most men, I still know that I am a woman, and that will be treated as such. And if you too soft and squishy to do your job and get down on one knee and make sure that you claim your place as a rightful and strong king of a leader of me, then I guess this is why I wind up. Here I am, 45 and not married. And like I said, maybe I need to tone it down, but I refuse to be with anyone who is weaker or don't understand the concept or the true order on how this is really supposed to go. I will not surrender that to no one less than that.
See, that's the part where, you know, I really want to talk to y'all about. Is he not a man? Because is he not a man because he did not? I mean, he could be a man, you know. There's a lot of different things that may go into this thing. Maybe he's waiting for a certain time. Maybe he's waiting for a certain season. Tucson, is he not a man because he did not? Zamaria, boy, she's ready to go. Is he not a man, Tucson, because he did not ask to marry her and she took the lead in this day and time? Is that a terrible thing?
We're in a terrible state. We're in a terrible state, right? You know, some women I won't approach because I'd be like, okay, let's both whip it out and see how it work out. Because you got
yeah, you about to go in the corner, brother. Yeah, you about to go in the corner. Yes, Lord. Yeah,
because you know, why are you trying to prove to me that you more man than me? And you're a woman. This is where we are. I don't mind you don't get me wrong. I don't mind you making more money than me. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's going to help us out. You know, but you know, just because you make more money than me, I'm not going to follow you nowhere. You don't get that, do you? You don't get that. So let's see, what we're doing is we having a contest, you know, the peeing contest we having. But now not only men are having peeing contests with each other. I'm trying to be nice, right? But now we're having it with women. That's bigger men than we are. Ask them. They're so strong than we assume to be weak. That's why then we ain't got no Brendas on the line, so I'm gonna call you Brenda. Brenda. Okay, Brenda. Every man can't be weak. Not every one of them. You should show, and I'm not saying lower your standards because you need to. I love a strong woman. I love. Oh boy, they smell better with regular cologne on, or put not cologne because you some of them wear cologne. You know that, do you, Ryan?
Yeah.
They go to the men's section to get their cologne, not perfume.
Look, their fragrances. Their fragrances.
They smell so good, but they smell like Billy. Smell them. I love it. Raheem, I love a strong woman. I love them. They support you better. They stand up with you. I don't need nobody following me. I need somebody with me. A helpmeet, not a helpmate. I was finna go to the corner because we got this thing wrong in the first place. We're looking for helpmates, and that's what you're doing. Oh boy, let me just go in the corner and say that all we doing is screwing around.
Wow.
With your helpmate. So the sad part is ask them. You know, they call themselves mighty women of God.
Mighty.
Ask them.
Mighty.
They're mighty. Wonder Woman's turn around and turn into somebody else.
And look here, and Tucson, look here, got all this strength, superpowers.
Yeah,
got superpowers, but don't have the strength to get down on one knee and ask her man to marry her. What's wrong with her?
Well, I don't want you. Don't do that, though. Don't do that to me. Please don't do that. Don't do that, Wonder Woman. That's your problem now. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Man, we done ran Toya off the screen.
Get up from there.
We done ran Toya off the screen, man.
Get up from there. Get up.
Hold on.
Get up off your knee.
Get up on there. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Hey, let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Talk to me, sister, and we're going to Stanley next. Cassandra, Super Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
I just, you know,
Wonder Woman ain't powerful enough.
Yeah, well, ain't no Wonder Woman over here. I ain't no Superwoman. I ain't Wonder Woman. I ain't none of them girls. But anyway, I just feel like there's been such a change in both women and men. Some men they're more feminine than the women they with. I don't get it, but whatever float their boat. And women have unfortunately we had to become and walk in roles that I don't even want to go there because I'll be that's something totally, that's a whole nother show. We've had to become these in the eyes of society, these super women with the S on our back and all of that stuff, and it just does not. It should not have to be that way. If men would step up and be who they need to be, women would not have to behave the way that we do in what they call normal masculine roles.
Cassandra,
we've been put in this.
Let me throw this in there, and I want you to respond to this. And I know you're the perfect person for me to ask this question. A lot of times they say that men are weak and watered down and things of that nature, but it's also said that most men are raised by women in single family households. So if the men are weak, what are they lacking if you all as women are the ones that's raising them?
You know what? We should not have to raise our children by ourselves.
Absolutely. I agree.
By ourselves. So it goes right back to the man. You stepped away for whatever reason. You can say, well, she acting funky. I don't care how funky she acts. That's your child. That's your boy. That's your girl. You need to sow into your children. And there are no excuses. Unless you have been banned by court because you've done something crazy, then there's no reason for these men, 66 to 67% of single family households. Where the hell are the men?
Hey, but see, my thing is this right here. A lot of times I hear women that tell their sisters, don't stay in no toxic relationship. You get out there toxic relationship and you don't need to be there because it's toxic. And if that be the case, why can't a man, if he feel like the relationship is toxic, now I don't agree with him turning his back on it. He should be a part of their children's life in some kind of capacity. He really should, regardless of the relationship that he and her have. That has nothing to do. Those are still your children.
Raheem,
So you still have a responsibility.
Raheem,
Yes.
66 to 67% of them feeling like the relationship is so toxic that they can't have anything to do with their children.
Wow.
What the?
Wow.
No. There is no excuse.
I don't agree
Period.
with. I do not agree with a man not taking responsibility. You know, now does he have to be with her to take responsibility for his kids? Absolutely not. He don't have to be with her.
No.
Yeah, but my thing is, and I agree with you 110%. You will get no pushback on me. He have to take responsibility for his kids because those are he had a part in bringing those kids here. He have a responsibility in raising those kids. So whether he and her could get along together has nothing to do with his responsibility. Those are still his children. So I agree with you 110% there. But you know, it's still the thing. I'm going right back to it. If a woman, this whole whatever this whole Me Too movement, you know, want to be this and want to be that, which is fine. I love it. But at the same time, why can't she take that step and say, well, look, I want to marry you. Let's get married. Why can't she do that?
No, to me okay. Well, you know what? She can. And I think Navy said it. She can. If that's what a woman wants to do, by all means, because you look ridiculous, because I've seen it several times, and then the guy looking all hesitant and like, okay, what do I say? Because if he don't want you, okay, I'm not gonna answer anymore, Raheem. Leave me alone.
Hey, Stanley, are you with us, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay. I'm asking the question, brother. Why can't she's been waiting for this man for 5-10 years. They're together. They love each other. They're going to be together. That's just what it is. You know, they're there. Why can't she, instead of waiting on him to pop the question, why can't she get down on one knee and say, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? Why can't she do that?
Well, in a lot of situations, they don't want to get married. A lot of women, a lot of men the same way, but a lot of women don't want to get married. They want the security. They want you to be able to take care of the bills and, you know, help raise the children, but a lot of them do not want that piece of paper saying that they're going to be tied to you for the rest of their lives. And I was listening to Cassandra talk about some of the men, you know, in certain situations, and I dealt with my first wife, certain situations, a lot of women cause the men not to be around to be with their children. I know guys that are some good brothers and have children by women that the women get pissed off at them and won't let them see their children, won't let them get the children for the weekend. You know, then that's why we wind up in the system again. Like Rico was saying yesterday, you got to go to court to get permission to see your own child. So we can't blame everything on the man. There's a lot of trifling women out there that try to keep their children away from their fathers, as well as a lot of trifling men try to have custody, try to keep their children away from the mother. So in a perfect world, all that sounds really easy, but it's not. You know, I know a lady that Father's Day, you know, she would make sure, he wanted to make sure he had his kids on Father's Day. Make sure if they had to switch weekends, she had the kids on Mother's Day. She got mad at him and took the kids and that week, Father's Day weekend, when he was supposed to get them, and she went on by her business, and he tried to get the kids and didn't know where they was at. So it's a lot of trifling stuff going out there, man. And a lot of women now, you know, a few years ago, diva was the main thing. Oh, I'm a diva. I want to be a diva. Now every woman wants to be called a queen, but being honest, every woman is not a queen, and every man is not a king. That's just being honest, because some women don't have that queenly pedigree. You know, it's easy to have that title, but what are you supporting your husband? Are you supporting your children's father in what they're trying to do, as far as, you know, trying to raise the children right? You know, back in the day, I'm 59, so back in the day, if parents in my community, most of them, a lot of them didn't care, but if they had a disagreement with each other, they would not let the children see it.
Yeah, that's true.
They would ride off to the store or something, or wait till the kids go to bed and have the discussion. So they didn't want their children to grow up in a violent home. But a lot of folks just didn't care. They fight and, cuss each other out and put each other down in front of the children. And that has a lasting effect on the children. Plus also has a lasting effect on your relationship, because some things that you say or do, no matter how you apologize or how many times you apologize, some things you can't get over. So that's why you have to be careful with that. But with the women thing, some of them don't want to get married, being honest. So that's why they will ask the guy to get married.
Okay, good deal, Zamari.
Let them get mad at you. Let them get mad at you. They'll tell you exactly how they feel.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll show when that anger, it'll show come out. It'll definitely come out. Zamari,
right.
Exactly. Zamari, what's on your heart?
No, I mean, he's right about the arguing in front of the kids. And that was something because, my husband and I, we grew up in dysfunctional families, both of us. And so we grew up seeing all of that fighting and, right in front of our faces constantly. And that was something that my husband and I, early on to our relationship, we did that too around our kids. And I don't know, like we learned better, right? And we just had a conversation one day after we had one of our arguments or sometime after one of them. And I said, if we're going to have a disagreement of some sort, can we agree to not do this in front of them anymore? Let's take it to another room. If we have business that we have to discuss, finances, whatever, I don't care what it is, right? It will, whatever. If we're not getting along, I don't want my kids to see that. I want them to at all times see a united front. I want them to see that love, that compassion. I don't want them to see mommy and daddy can't get along. I don't want them to worry about whether or not their home environment is secure. Is mommy and daddy going to get a divorce? I don't want them to worry about those things.
Yeah.
He took that in and he goes, you're right. So for many years now, if we have anything that we need to discuss, it's like, hey, let's go talk. Yeah. We go in the room, we settle our differences or whatever needs to happen. And then we go out and our kids don't know any better.
That's good. They
don't know.
Toya, she want to ask, your friend girl come to you and she say, look here, I'm tired of waiting on this joker. Go with me to the jewelry. We're going to go. I'm going to get the ring and I'm going to ask him to marry me. Toya, what do you say to her?
I don't hang with girls like that, but if I did and that's what she wanted to do, then I ain't got nothing to say. So don't ask me nothing. I'm not a hard book to read. You know exactly who Toya with the T is off the rip. There's no secrets here. So if my friend know how I feel, she knows she's not gonna tell me. She know I'm probably not even gonna be there.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Because that don't go like that. I be paying attention to a lot of things. And I be around a bunch of people in a lot of ways. And some of this stuff listen, I remember the real Sesame Street when they taught you shapes and sizes and way things go and way things don't. And just because some of the stuff people do it, don't mean I'm rolling with it.
Yeah.
And just because you do it, nope. Because it's going to be a lot of nopes with this. But again, I'm also an understanding and an empathetic person. So if I know that you were showing your behind and this man asked you to marry him and you've been delivered or whatever, and I know that he's good for you and you're about to lose him, but like I said now, he done already asked you. And you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do. And now you woke up and you was like, oh my gosh, girl, I'm going to lose him. I'm like, girl, listen, you better ask that man to marry you back. But he didn't already asked you. You know what I'm saying? And you messed it up. There are circumstances where things happen. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, Toya, what was that movie? It was a Tyler Perry movie. And what's the name? Shamar, huh?
I don't care what it was. It was a movie. But yeah, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, where she went and asked him
Yeah, she said, "Ask me again."
At the end, ask me again. That's right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to ask me again because now I'm ready. I respect that because it still keeps the man in his place and the woman in his place, her place. But again, like I said, for me, I know I might be tough and crunchy on the outside, but I'm a nut on the inside. I know, but I still like it traditional. You gotta ask me, right? Now, under them circumstances, if you know you messed up, right? Maybe something happened, he gets sick or something like that. All right, then I might be like, you know what, baby? Maybe he about to die. Maybe he got cancer. You know what I'm saying? Something detrimental, and we need to figure out something. And before we go through this, or in order for this to happen, we need to get married. And yeah, you need to marry me so we can make this happen. You understand what I'm saying? There are circumstances, but we're talking about the natural order of things. I'm sorry. I feel like the natural order, even if I make buck the system, the man is the head, but he just got to be strong enough to be the head. And with that, there are steps that he takes. So no, I can't see myself, and I love hard, and I love with a lot. There's a lot of things I'm gonna do. You right? I'm gonna be strong. You right? But let me tell you what I ain't gonna do. I ain't gonna be getting down on one knee asking no man to marry me. You understand what I'm saying? It's just certain things I'm not going to do. If you're going to be the leader and you're going to be the head of the house, I'm not going to get down on one knee and then I'm going to go back to the woman duties. Oh, you're cooking, cleaning, and it. What? No, partner. You turn the keys over, baby. Let me tell you something. Everything that go with that, I'm going to run it. You understand me? So for me, no, original order. I don't care what happens. The guy got to get down on the knee. I'm not going to do it unless it's something detrimental.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go. We got a couple of calls just came into to the phone. Now we're going to touch on the callers right now. But right now I'm going to go to Willow.
Good morning, my Ryan. Good morning, Morning Glow.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, I need to ask you a question. Is it okay? Is it out of order? Now we know the traditional aspect of this thing. We understand the traditional, but if this young lady has been with this man for 5 and 10 years and he have not asked her to marry her, is it a terrible thing for her to go by the ring, get down on one knee and act and propose to him? Is it a terrible thing?
I'm not gonna say it's a terrible thing, but it might be an embarrassing thing when you say no. Because if he wanted to marry her, he would have did that himself. Because that's the way it should be done. The Bible says that when a man finds a wife, finds a good thing. But I mean, she has the free will to do what she wants to do. Now, who's to judge her? Who's to say what she's doing is not the proper way in this world? Because the world is not like the way that God instructs us to do things. It's totally out of order. But if I was her friend, me being her friend, I would suggest to her not to do it because then she's putting him in a place where it might cause her embarrassment. But she'll really find out, where his heart is. Because if he loves her and he knows that she wants to be married, he'll do that on his own. So, why would you put yourself in that kind of predicament, giving him a way out, because most men, I ain't gonna say everybody, y'all, but most men who want to get married know they want to get married. So no, I wouldn't suggest it to my friend Raheem. No, that's something that as women we shouldn't do.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning, Glow family.
Man, is
nice,
good to have you, sir. I need to ask you that question, brother. Is it a terrible thing? She been waiting 5-10 years. He ain't asked. Maybe he's afraid, whatever, cold feet, whatever it is. But whatever the reason, he has not asked her. She's ready to get married. She loved this man. She knows that this man loved her. Is it a terrible thing for her to go out there, get that ring, get down on one knee and propose to him? Is it a terrible thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
It is a very terrible thing. Because it's not that she can't do it or what have you. But first of all, has she communicated did she have them standards when they got together? You would have, what have they been talking about these 5 years? What have they been doing these past 5 years? If he ain't asked you to marry you, it's because he don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And women can make themselves believe what they would like to believe. A man that wants to marry you, go ahead and marry.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you a date, time, everything.
And be there.
A man that don't, not gonna bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing all this, that means you're going to be the leader.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be the leader in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the one that makes the proposal to take that responsibility. Now, if you're not ready to do that, you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between a husband and a wife.
So if there's a marriage, it's his responsibility to propose, not hers.
Right.
Mm.
Right. And most women who have dealt with men long enough, they know it's the truth.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
They know it's the truth. She should have gave him an ultimatum a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But now because you're tired of waiting, you're gonna propose yourself. There's an issue in that.
Leonard, what are you gonna do if a woman or anybody give you an ultimatum? How are you gonna approach that thing?
Just like I would anything else. I would make my decision.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what most women will find out is these men don't want to marry you because they're waiting on something else.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Waiting on.
I don't.
Wow.
Why would you? What's the big deal about playing house?
Mm.
I never understand it. I never really was into it. You know, I make commitments.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I don't usually just sit there and think that I'm just going to come and go as I please and all these types of things with no expectations or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage proposal sets expectations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And if a woman does it, she has no idea that man is really that committed to her. If he say no, then what you gonna do?
It's over. Nine times out of 10, it's over. If the person says no, right. You know, the relationship. And that's another question. Even if he proposed to her, if she say no, is the relationship over? Because she has no intent. It's almost like she has no intentions of going further, huh?
It depends on who made the proposal. You stay if you want, but if someone has denied you and they don't want to be with you and they don't want to marry you, you should leave them.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
Because you desire to be married.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Joker, I got to go. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I thought, Leonard, you did good.
I thought, yeah. Go ahead.
I thought he did very well.
Yes, he did.
Because if it says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing, why are you proving that you're a good thing?
Mm.
And why are you putting yourself on display to be seen as a good thing when lo and behold, you are not?
Mm. Wow.
Matter of fact, you a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bad to the bone. Leonard, I almost called you a Georgia speech. Georgia speech.
Don't do
it. Because they on display.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm just having flashbacks, please. Because you a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are, a good thing, on your knees. Lord have mercy. Now I'm not finding you. You on display.
Mm-hmm.
Promoting yourself to be something you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're not good at all. You're not even wife material. Because you don't, you don't know how to shut your mouth. Because you got two fools now, because I don't know how to shut mine either.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what we're going to do? Fuss and fight from here on out. Trying to figure out who's the man. We shouldn't have to do that. But since how in the world you didn't get it? That you've been there for 5 years and nobody even suggested marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to take upon yourself to ask your friend who has no husband that can't find a man in a crowd what she thinks about you going to the jewelry store to put a ring on your credit card, not pay it, to bring to the man your engagement ring and his because you want to get married.
Mm-hmm.
What a mess.
Mm-hmm.
What
Wow.
a display of confusion and disorder. And this is the society we live in. It's your pretty self. You're so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, and boy, you is fine at all outdoors. Just, oh my God. You know what I found out? You can't cook.
Lord Jesus. Lord. Look here. What are we gonna do with Tucson? Cassandra?
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about your brother, man. He said the woman can't even cook. Then she want to propose
Well,
and she can't even cook.
A
Huh?
lot of them can't, but the good thing, a lot of them can't, but Google and YouTube are real, so
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely get on there and follow the directions that they're giving you. So there is no excuse for that. But I still want to say we just, I'm talking to women because I'm a woman. I'm saying do not demean yourself like that. If he wants you, he will say so. If you've been in a long-term relationship and it looks like he's not going to ask you to marry, then have a conversation with him, and then you know whether to move on.
Mm-hmm.
But you get so invested in putting yourself, out there, and the security, somebody said, the security of having him, I guess, in the home or him helping you pay bills and stuff. Just have some type of self-respect. That's all I'm saying. If that's so important to you, go ahead and stay, just doing what y'all are doing.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to marriage, you have no right going out there. Well, you got a right because that's your business. But it doesn't make sense to me. But, like I said, that's just me. But there's no way that I believe that any woman should get on her knees or stand up. And first of all, what kind of engagement ring are you giving him? I know what they do for us, but what are you going to go get in representation of an engagement ring for that man? And I guess you got a lot of choices. It just doesn't make sense to me. I can't make it fit in my head.
But see, maybe she went out there and she bought the whole set for herself and him. Maybe she bought both of them, like he would do. He would buy both rings and present her with the ring, with the engagement ring, and then the wedding ring and all that stuff.
Not when he gets the engagement ring. Most people don't buy it like that. A lot of people just get the engagement ring, and then they get the bands later when they get married. But I mean, whatever way they do it, let people do. I'm gonna go in it now. It don't make sense to me, but let people do whatever they want to do. If she feels like that's the way to get the man to marry her after 5 to 10 years of being in a relationship, then sister, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Wow. Stanley, what do you say to that, brother? What's on your heart?
Well, like I say, man, I don't really believe in a woman asking a man to marry them, because, like I say, most of them don't want to get married, but it's the man's job, to really take control of that and say, hey, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna take care of you, we're gonna be a family, I'm gonna provide for you, I'm gonna protect you. So, that's just how I see that.
Even in this modern age, because everything has changed, a lot of traditions is going out the window. Even in this modern day and time, is not a good idea or a good look, if you will, for the woman to ask the question.
No, Now, you know why, Raheem? Because I want you to think about over time. The black male, still needs to have that control no matter what time it is. Because think about it, over the years, mama is always the one that they really, they really love and care about. They really don't care a whole lot about daddy.
Mm-hmm.
In the black families, especially, it's mama, 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 mama.
Mm-hmm.
So daddy needs to have something that he can control.
Let me keep something.
I'm serious about that.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to have some kind of control, at least be able to control that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like in the world, a black man, we have that problem now, but not like it was, let's say, 50 years ago. Black men would go out in the world, catch hell on the job, catch hell on the bus from the job, catch hell when they go in the store. So when he came home, that should have been his peace at the house. I've been out in the world fighting all day, fighting on the job with people. They disrespect us, all that. So the home is basically the only place that the black man should have some type of control or some kind of peace, So he has to have some kind of control, but it's just not, it's out of order to say for the woman to ask the man, because if she asks him to marry her, the next thing you know, she's going to be running the household. And what say will he have? She don't took the reins from the get-go. Marry me. I'm gonna take care of you. No,
that ain't how this thing
I'm gonna
works.
ask you to marry me because I'm gonna be the head from the get-go. She go in and take charge like that. What else she gonna want to take charge of?
That's good. That's good.
So have him mopping and sweeping and washing dishes. Even though you do that anyway to help out, don't get me wrong, but it's your choice.
But see, a lot of
baby, I'll cook today. I'll clean the kitchen up and I'll vacuum. I'll mop. You go take a break. I'm gonna watch the kids. That's your choice. But if you let her ask you to marry you, she's taking charge from the get go. And next thing you know, she's gonna have you doing all the woman stuff and you doing all the man stuff.
But
so,
see, most
be careful with stuff like that.
See, most men run the house anyway. They run the vacuum cleaner, they run the dishwasher, they run they run all that, man. They run the washing machine.
It's about choice. At least that's what we make people think. We chose to do that.
Exactly. Men run all that stuff, man. We run the house. Look at here.
I was washing dishes last night, so I have a dishwasher, but it's only one or two dishes I just wash them. But
exactly,
but like I say, it has to be. He has to have some type of charge, man. You can't just. And like, to me, that would be demeaning. It would be, I would tell the baby that was a nice gesture.
Yeah.
So, let me do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Get your behind up off that floor. What you doing? But look here.
That dog won't hunt, as old folks say. That dog won't hunt. Right
Exactly. And I tell the world, this is an example right here. I tell the world, I tell everybody, I run my house. You don't believe me? Ask my wife. Come over there and see me running all those appliances. Exactly. Ask my wife. I run everything. Badger, good morning, sir. Exactly.
Good morning. Late today.
Yeah, I see you late, man. But it's okay. Good to have you, brother. Good to have you. But my thing is this right here, man. Is it a bad thing for a woman to ask a man? Is it a bad thing if she get down on one knee? She been waiting 5-10 years. Now she want to be married. She get down on one knee and she propose. Is that a good or a bad thing?
Not for me to decide. That's between that woman and that man. Maybe he's too anxious to even do it. And she does it instead. I have no right to judge if it's wrong or not. And that's just my perception.
Okay. That's how you feel about it. Okay. Zamari, what do you say about it?
I already said it. I don't think I agree with everybody else. I love the way that Navy put it out there too. And then how Cassandra had put it out there.
Why is it so wrong though?
Well, it's like they said though, right? Like they're supposed to be the man, or they all said it, right? I might as well be wearing the boxers. I might as well pee standing up. And it's true.
That don't change because of so all of this is gonna change based on one question.
Okay, look, let's use lions for a second here. Do lionesses follow, or does the lioness follow the lion because he's weak and can't protect the pride?
No.
Exactly.
But she does all the hunting though.
But she does do the hunting. Right. She does the hunting. She takes care of the pride the way that she is intended to take care of the pride. And the whole time the lion is sitting there and making sure the pride is safe. That is the order of things. See, the animal kingdom has it right. I don't want to be with a lion if he can't protect me, if he can't take responsibility and do what he's supposed to do. And the first thing he's supposed to do is to ask me to marry him. But I love the way that Cassandra said, I love the way these other women said it, right? Because they put it in a whole different way. I'm not going to sit around and wait 10 years for you to propose to me. And I'm definitely not going to be the one to step up and do it either. That's not my place to do that. Show me you can take charge. Show me that you can take the lead. Show me that you have it in you to do that, so that I want to marry you, so that I want to follow you, so that it's just it goes back to the order of things, keeping things in order. And these other women, they said it so well about that. Why that's so important.
Y'all putting so much emphasis on the question and not the marriage. You know,
but it's not the question though.
In end result, y'all will be married. You will get what you want. You want to be married. That's the end result.
I don't want to marry a weak man.
Why is he weak? Because he didn't ask though. Why does that make him weak? I'm just asking. I'm the question asking. I'm just asking. Why is he weak? Because he did not ask the question.
Okay, well, either he's weak, he's lazy, or he's not committed. Pick one.
Okay.
I mean, it's true. I don't want to be with somebody who's weak, lazy, or not committed.
Okay.
Raheem.
Yes, sir.
It's like waiting for the lion to roar, and what comes out is meow.
Man, y'all making this man so weak because he did not answer a question. Didn't ask a question. That does not make him weak.
Because she asked. It's weak because he accepted it. He should have said, "Okay, babe, I get it. Get up off your knees. Come on, and I'll get down. I'll ask you to marry me." Don't let her. Even if she starts it, you don't let her finish that question.
Yeah.
You get her up, and then you get down there and ask for it. If you don't want to get married, just tell them, "No, I don't want to get married." But don't let her ask you to marry her, and then you accept, because then you setting yourself up for failure. You're gonna be in the female's role the rest of that marriage. I promise.
Look at here. She down there talking about
wedding dress on.
She talking about down there talking about will you marry me? And he talking about what, baby? I'm ready to go fishing. I'm ready to go fishing. I'm going fishing.
You'll be the one in the gown.
Lord Jesus. Y'all are something else. Y'all are changing.
Wedding cake and all that stuff.
See, y'all changing everything about who this man is just because of he didn't ask one question.
Bro. It's the truth. You gotta take the lead.
She got the tuck on. She wearing the tuck.
Yeah. She wearing the tuck.
Y'all are something else.
Yeah, hey, move on to something else, man. You're making this brother look real weak, man. Ain't nothing coming out in my head now but jokes, because that's just, I understand people do it, but like I said, my thing is, even if she attempts to ask you that question, get her up off her knees and you finish it, because you're starting out the wrong way.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Let me go to Leonard. Leonard.
Hey, Raheem.
Watch this.
Hey, Raheem. Welcome to Good Bishop.
The Good Bishop. Bishop, good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
Man, I've been telling you the truth. You know you're good as silly, boy. I tell you. And Leonard patronizes you. Oh my God, man. Thank y'all so much.
Hey, Bishop, I need to hear your take on this, man. Now, this couple has been together 5-10 years. She wants to be married. She has this desire to be married. He has not asked the question. He has not asked the question. Not that he don't love her, or not that he don't want to be with them, because they're going to be together. Is it a terrible thing? What do you think about her going out there, purchasing the ring, getting down on one knee, and asking the question?
I think that, the panel that has already spoken and don't agree with it, we all on the same page. To me, it is completely out of order. If I would, this is a religious program, so I think I can go here. Genesis, the 6th chapter, said the men went and got the wives. King Lemuel's mother said, don't give your strength to women. And you begin to become emasculated when the woman gets on her knees to ask you as a man to marry her. See, the men are supposed to be going to get the women, not the women trying to go get the men. And they always talk about, I hear women say, I want to get my bow ass. What if you get a broke ass, a dumb ass, or all these other type of asses that is not A-S-S-A-Z, low ass. Bishop in the corner.
Bishop in the corner. Bishop is going in the corner.
Y'all know Ruth was out in the field cleaning, and Boaz saw her. So all I'm just saying is that she got a dumb ass, a broke ass, a sweet, ass, A-Z now, A-Z, not A-S-S. Because you give me your strength away. You remember when Dennis Rodman had his wedding, and he had on that white gown?
Bishop.
And everybody, because I think brother said, the man to be, he'll be wearing the gown. And everybody mocked him and criticized him. And they just laughed at him because it looked really, really stupid.
Bishop, you know what you about what you about to be? Can I tell you what you about to be, Bishop? No. You're gonna be in the corner. You're gonna definitely be in the corner. But you're gonna be how you see Boaz and rested ass and all that stuff. That was you gonna be a rested ass, because you better go in that corner and sit down. Go on over there. Don't you move.
I didn't cuss, man. I didn't cuss.
I didn't either. I said I like Boaz. I didn't cuss.
That's the kind of man that they get, and it just takes away from the dynamic. What about the celebrity that changed his name to his wife's name? You remember that? Yeah. I heard talk of that. Yeah, but that ain't happening in this neck of the woods, brother. That ain't happening. And truth of the matter, that's what some folks are doing, though, bro.
They can do what they want to do, but and like I said, and my thing is this right here. I'm just a question asker. I don't agree with the woman getting down on one knee and proposes it. I don't agree with that, but I'm the question asker, so that's what I do. Ask the question. We have Friday. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. Friday, we're asking a question this morning. Now, this couple has been together for 5-10 years. They've been together for a long time. She has a desire to be married. She want to be married. He have not asked. She go get the ring, come back, get down on one knee, and propose to him. What does that say to you? What is that whole picture?
We do desperate things or take desperate measures when we see things to be a desperate situation. I know that there's, for what marriage is, right? If we, not what the world has made it be, not the entertainment, not it's a piece of paper for the government, for what marriage has been designed to be. For me, I say she was out of pocket in terms of taking those initiatives. I know that's not commonplace for progressive talk. But again, in the scope of marriage, I believe the instructions are like when a man finds his wife, right? And I think he would know and then have no problem making those, taking those steps to propose and or then thus marry that individual. But it's a free world. We have free will and people can do what they want to do. But if we take marriage for what it is, and it's been all jacked up in so many different ways, even for marriages that become better and under the sanctity of, Christ and things of that nature, it's a struggle. And I think a lot of the struggles we have is how we enter into and approach marriage. But for that situation, I mean, keep waiting or let them go.
Wow. Toya, what did he talk to me, sis?
No, we ain't got no more talking to do about no woman asking no man to marry. No, we're not gonna keep putting that in the atmosphere. It don't go.
Mm-hmm.
It don't go. It don't go. It don't go. Just because we do it don't mean it go. It don't go. 2 men can get married now. And you know what? That's what you want to do. That's fine. But it don't go.
Toy, let me ask you a different question. And this is something totally different. Well, basically, I guess they're the same. If you if this couple was together, they were together and they had kids together and they separated. Look at Toy, look at her. What I'm gonna do with her. And they separate and they're no longer together. She go and she finds somebody else and they're in love. They're about to get married. She come to her kid's father and say, listen, I met this fella. We are about to get married. We're about to become a family. I want to know, would you do me a major favor? And he said, what is that? Will you sign over your parental rights to my soon-to-be husband and let him be the father of the kids, and you just walk away? How out of pocket is that?
Well, that goes with the first out-of-pocket move she made. You should expect something else out of pocket to go. Ridiculous. But hey, maybe there's a reason for that too. But still, it don't go. If you're a good father.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong if he say yes?
Listen. To me, I would think so.
Yeah.
Because you really didn't want him in the first place. But to that person, whatever little thing they got going on, first the chick asking you to marry you. Okay, you did that. Now she coming asking, let me sign the rights over to my new daddy. Like, that is just we see what's wrong with the world today. That's out of order still. That shit, that's like a Rubik's Cube. Just everything, just everywhere, and just everything. I mean, how you gonna get back on track? It don't make sense to me. But again, whatever mindset you got to be in to do those things, okay, that's you and your mindset. For me, I don't get it, right? I seen a guy on Facebook the other day. His whole body was shaved. He had colorful tattoos all over and earrings all in his face. And, you talking about why people don't treat you like you're normal. I mean, just because you can do it don't mean it need to be done. And it don't mean that we looking at you like it's normal. You're just able to do it. So again, if that's what a person wants, I feel like this. If any parent signs over their right to their kids, you really didn't want them anyway. Because I'm fighting for nieces and nephews. I wish I would roll up on my sister's boyfriend. And this is my blood niece and nephew. I'm going to be like that with the blood daddy. But I know I'm limited with the blood daddy. But no, that's my blood. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So again, anything that comes less than what my rationale is, I'm going to think it's weird, right? But you might send that same person to Jim Jones Church, and Jim Jones might say, hey, yeah, that's the right thing to do. But all that coincides on why they drunk the Kool-Aid. So again, this is about different levels and, you know what I'm saying, and how people want to live their life. And nah, I'm not cool with none of that right there. Again, those would be my friends. You know what I'm saying? Those are people that I know. I don't deal with them. You a coworker. I don't fool with you. I say good morning, goodbye, and good night.
Exactly. Cassandra, what do you say to that? And is he wrong if he agrees and say, yes, I'll do it? Is he wrong?
He'll do what?
Sign over his parental rights. The scenario is the young lady and the man were together. They had kids. They separated. She met somebody else that she really want to be with. They're gonna be together. They're going to get married. And she go to her kid's father and say, listen, I met this guy. We're gonna be together. We're about to get married. And I want to know, would you do me a major favor and sign over the parental rights to him? Sign over the parental rights of our kids to him. And is he wrong if he say yes?
Well, why? I mean, why would he do? Why would you have to do that? The scenario doesn't make sense. Why would you have to do that? You can adopt. He could adopt their children without him giving up his parental rights. So why would you even do that?
Because she
that shouldn't even be a consideration.
She no longer want him in the picture. She want him to sign away his rights.
It's not her choice. How you going? That doesn't even make sense. She has no right to do that. And if a man lets her do that, what's wrong with him? Is something wrong with him? Once again, I'm gonna put it back in this guy's court. You don't have to do that. If the guy wants to adopt your children, let him adopt your children. But that doesn't negate your parental rights or your parental authority. What the heck? No, come on now.
Hey, I'm just a question asker. Willa, what do you say to that, Willa? Is he right? Is he wrong? How do you see this whole picture?
You know, I'm with Cassandra. First of all, why do you have to sign over something that, first of all, you come as a package deal when you marry a woman that has children. They're a package. So either you agreeing with them or you don't, because you know what you have to deal with when you coming into a situation, or maybe you don't, with a woman that already have children. There should be a common denominator where all mature adults get together and co-parent the children. Bottom line. It doesn't have to be anything legal, because, I mean, what you going to do different? Because of the fact that legally what? I mean, you married a woman, that means you're the stepfather. You're never going to be the biological father. And any parenting should be different between the parents. So why should there be any legal documentation stating that you a parent? That don't even make human sense. In your mind, you should already have a sense of caring and loving those children whose mother is about to marry. Now, as mother, I wouldn't want to marry anybody that don't have the idea of taking care of the children that I already have because they're not there. That should already be first. So I agree with what Cassandra said. Come on now, that don't even make human sense. And Raheem, real quick, you remember I always tell you that people need to always feel. This man told me he been with this woman for like 25 years, and he said that he asked her to marry him when he was like 21, 22. Anyway, she said no. Now the reason he did that was because his parents were living. He said, but now he gonna never marry her because his parents had died.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I just want to add that because, you know, people, when they ask you to marry them, make sure you get the hereafter. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys.
Good deal. Good. Absolutely. Zamari, what do you say to that, man? Is she right? Is she wrong? Is she out of pocket? And is he right or wrong if he says yes and agree to it?
Is he a good father? Is he a good dad? Is he in the picture? Is he taking care of business like he's supposed to be doing? If he's doing those things, she's absolutely out of order. She's way out there in left field somewhere, and I don't even know what she's thinking. And then what about the psychological and emotional damage to the children by pushing the father out of the picture?
Exactly.
A good father who loves his children, whose children love him. And now you're asking him to step to the side because you found somebody you think you love? That's not okay.
Wow.
I can tell you right now, if my husband and I were divorced and I've met somebody else and went to him and asked him to do, I can promise you I would be 6 feet under and buried in his backyard somewhere. That ain't happening. You know, no good man is going to agree to that.
Yeah.
But if he is not consistently in the picture and doing what he needs to do as a father for his children, then I can understand why the woman may want to do that. I can understand that. If he's already not there, right? Or for whatever the scenario is. Like if he's just not present, then I can understand why she would want to do that. That makes sense to me. But to remove a good father from his children because you think you love somebody new, no.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly. Rico, what do you say to that, man? Is she totally wrong, and is he wrong if he even agrees to it or even consider it? What do you say to that, Rico?
I don't even know the scenario you're talking about, man. I'm lost in the sauce.
Okay, let me break it down to you. This couple were together, and they had kids. They had kids, and for whatever reason, they split up. She met somebody else, and they're going very good. They're actually about to get married, and she come to the kid's father and say, "Listen, I need you to do me a major favor. I need you to sign over your parental rights to him." Is she wrong? Is she right? Is she wrong? Or is he right or wrong for even considering it or saying yes?
I mean, well, I guess it depends on how he treated the children. I mean, if he's been a deadbeat, not there for them, don't have a relationship, and really don't even want to claim them, you know, in some situations that will be something that you might want to just go to him and say, "Hey, man, you know, just sign over your rights. You've been denying them this whole time." They told me they saw you the other day when they was at the park and they called your name and you kept on walking like you didn't hear them.
Wow.
When you saw it with them. You know, that happens. So it depends. You know what I'm saying? She might come to that deadbeat that she ain't seen in 10 years and ain't paid no child support and say, "Hey, let's go ahead and sign your rights over and we'll do both of us a favor." He got somebody else that he looks up to right now. Not only do they take care of him, but they're in his life building a bond. So, you know, no, it depends on the situation. You know, it has to be a little bit more to it than just to make a decision based off of that scenario. I mean, you know, if he's a father that's doing good by that child and she's just doing it because she with her new man, then no, that ain't right. That sounds like you're just doing it because what makes you feel good. So, I mean, you know, it ain't nothing really to go into detail about with this question. I mean, if it ain't no other specifics to it, you know what I'm saying, you could just say, you know what I'm saying, in some cases yes, and in some cases absolutely not.
That's good. That's good. Badger, what do you say?
Unless I missed the question, if we're still talking about the same thing, I heard something about the kids. What exactly was the question about kids?
Badger, you ain't been listening to me, have you?
I'm doing my best.
Okay, the scenario is this: the couple was together. They were together and they had kids. And when they had kids, you know, they, for whatever reason, they separated. She met somebody else. She wants, and they're about to get married. She wants him to sign over, the kid's father to sign over his parental rights to the new man in their life. Is she right? Is she wrong? Or if he consider it, is she right or wrong? Is he right or wrong?
I mean, if he's a bad father, if he's a father that doesn't want to be involved, then I'd say he should do it. Especially if, you know, the other one's actually going to be there. But if he's a good man, why do that at all? So I feel it depends on the situation.
Okay.
I mean, it's just one of those things of, once again, got to look at things at face value in those situations and weigh everything. And then on top of that, how are the kids going to feel?
That's my whole point. You know, in a situation like this, my first objective is to look at the kids and to see where they stand. Let me go to Friday, then we're gonna go to Tucson. Friday, what's on your heart? What do you say?
It's interesting that this question reveals that the heart of us all collectively, we really want the woman to be right, because every first response was like, well, if he ain't, maybe she's just crazy.
Come on.
Maybe she just ain't wrapped too tight. Maybe she has kept him from being able to be there and had the audacity to then to come and say, sign it over. Maybe she's not wrapped too tight. Because when it's all said and done, especially since the children seemingly by the question has a pre-existing relationship with their father, even if he turned into whatever because of her betrayal of him, right? Because unfortunately, as long as you can prove to the court, oh, he ain't did this and he did that, they're not really asking the kids right away, if at all. So they're going to make decisions based on how big of a situation she can create versus what the reality of it may be. And so she could just be like, well, I'm being nice coming at you because the court going to take it anyway because she's kept him from them, or she's blocked that, or she, so she may not be wrapped up too tight in the first place to even come ask that question. And it could be poking a bear in a situation. Because if he's not, because for the scenario of him being absent, if that was the case and not her being bitter and trifling, then again, the court is just going to take it anyway. But once you create a child, it's yours by birth, by blood, excuse me, regardless. So hopefully, even without the paper, they can find a way to be in their children's life regardless.
And what's good about it that you pointed out is that you have a lot of women out there that use the kids as pawns, and there's like a manipulating chip that they use the kids for. And I think that's so unfortunate that they would do that. But it happens all the time. Tucson, what do you say to it, brother?
Go ask my children and see what they say. That's what I would say. Go ask them what they think about that. And you know what? I know mine will get fiery mad, regardless, because I've had relationships. They got children that didn't work out. Go ask them and see what they say about their daddy. What a cop out for me to allow that, give my parental rights for my children that I brought into this world to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
What a cop out. Pick up, just give up my responsibilities. Just give them up. Really?
And just walk away. It don't make sense
and
to
just
me.
walk away and say, well, I don't have no responsibility. Yay. And I walk around and call myself explaining that to them children when they grow up. Daddy, what happened? And so if it's a boy that turned out to be a man, how could he look at you in the eye as a man?
Yep. Exactly.
I'm just asking.
Exactly.
But the sad thing about it is there are some men who welcome it. Because they don't want the responsibility in the first place.
Wow. Are they men or just grown boys? That's a whole different conversation. Leonard, what do you say to that, brother? Bishop, come to you next.
So, working with people who have surrendered their parental rights, it's on a case by case basis.
So you know some people that have done that.
Yes.
Wow.
And a lot of times, sometimes it's very spiteful to get out of child support and all these different types of things. Or if, like say, I believe your scenario was someone was getting ready to get remarried.
Yes.
And wanted to do that because of the new husband. But terminating the parental rights is a serious issue. And before you get to that point, you want to do everything you can to try to rectify a situation. But now it's different when there's a neglect going on. That's a different issue. But in your scenario, it seems as if it was something that just came up in this woman's head because she was with somebody else to want to do it. I didn't hear you mention anything about neglect and not being a father.
No.
Or anything like that.
She's being spiteful.
Yeah, that's what that is. And I'm not even gonna say she's being spiteful. She just wouldn't want that picture to look a little different. You know, before it became popular for everybody in the house to have different last names, you remember that?
Yeah.
To the point where when we used to go to the school with my youngest son, they would be surprised that all of us had the same last name. because that is slowly becoming uncommon, and we know why. So I don't know what type of woman would do that, except for one that had an agenda.
Wow, that's good. That's good, Bishop. And that's true. That's very true. Bishop, what's on your heart, brother? Zamari, coming to you next.
Well, that's a question at hand. No, I don't see it, honestly, because my woman has went on and hooked up with another guy, that she come to me and asked me to give up my parental rights or give up my namesake for the benefit of her new relationship. I think somebody said that, you know, if you want to adopt them, that's one thing. But I'm not going to give up my rights. I'm not going to give up what my seed, you know, named to somebody else for that end, or just for that satisfaction and gratification that they feel like, man, we're a couple now. So if she divorced this guy and then move on to the next guy, what you going to do with that guy? It's going to be a revolving door. That every time she gets into a new relationship, she wants somebody to take over that name. So
kids
be like,
man,
a good man,
hey, Bishop,
ain't gonna do.
Bishop, the kids be like, Mama, what's our last name this month?
Right, right. So, you know, a good man, a strong man. It goes back to your first question. Man, stand up and be a man.
Yeah,
stand up and be a man, and that's it.
Good deal, Zamari.
I don't know that I have anything else to really add to this. I think
is it just an ugly situation? I mean, it's an ugly situation.
Okay, so if we're talking that the woman is just being spiteful just because, if that is your scenario, no. I just no, she's wrong. And one of her girlfriends, somebody needs to tell her as much. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Just because you're mad at him for whatever reason?
Yeah.
Because he hurt you? But you want to take a good father out of the picture because, like I said, because you think you're in love? And like someone else just said, Mommy, what's our name going to be next month?
Yeah.
Who just said that? You did. You just said that.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
Why do that to the kids? Why put them in that situation? Wasn't the divorce devastating enough? And now you want to remove him entirely because you're angry.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Toy, you with a T, talk to me, sis. We're going to get out of here in a minute or two, but what's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, no, hey, listen, we got to get it together. Some of our beliefs, you know, shouldn't be a belief, shouldn't be a thing. You know what I mean? And just because we're able to do it don't mean it should be done. You know what I'm saying? I remember being under a very spiteful spell. I remember being vengeful. I remember just having that in my heart, having that in my spirit. And, you know, in some ways, when I think about why I don't have no children, I'd be like, he know what he's doing, but it's still a want and a desire. But I just remember being a multitude of different people in life. And all those people were not the right people. You know what I'm saying? And if I had a child in the mix to that, I probably could have done some very severe damage that I couldn't change, which is why some of our children and our youth act the way they do, because we go through things and become people in life. And some of these children are exposed to some of these ways and personalities, you know what I'm saying? And spirits that we don't pay attention to. So, I mean, I get it, not a tactic we should use, but listen, we see signs, y'all. Pay attention early on, and it might keep you from this kind of heartache, man. But yo, I love y'all so much. Y'all have a good day, and I can't wait to do it again.
There you go. Love you too, sis. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just a selfish situation to put the child through, and that's honestly what's going on in today's society. A lot of people are just having their children as tag along. You know, they're just along with the experience of the parent. And it's funny that, you know what I'm saying, that ended up being a conversation, because I've been going back and forth with my baby mama all morning. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know, man. I'm gonna get willing to say a little special word for me, because I'm in another situation, and I should be heading down to Jacksonville, Florida in a few hours. It's another emergency, and hopefully it works out. And if not, then y'all will know tomorrow, you know. But man, cooperation between parents, man, and putting the children first is so important. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy to even have to have that conversation with parents about how they should put themselves second sometimes.
Wow.
But you know, sometimes parents don't want to put themselves second. It's all about them. You know, if you would have just heard the conversation, this is the first time I heard her voice, and, you know, in a few months. But you know, this is the first time I was able to have a conversation that lasted longer than 2 minutes, and it was still so self-centered. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, when I tell you it's an emergency, it was sad to listen to her knowing what's going on, and then hear her go back and start trying to point fingers about what happened in the past, on top of being in denial, but to even bring that up. So it was like, you know, I can't believe she's still trying to find something else to talk about than the issue at hand. But that's what happens when you're so wrapped up in yourself to the point of where you won't even do what's best for your child sometimes.
Wow.
Sometimes you will go and say, you know what, let me keep him from their real daddy and make this man that I want to be my husband their daddy.
Wow.
I like him better.
Not even taking consideration
Not even know
of
who
the
the
kids.
daddy is. Let me just say this one, the daddy.
Wow.
I ain't gonna get no DNA test. I'm gonna lie. I ain't gonna tell him his 4 or 5 potentials. I'm gonna lie and tell the one that I want to be the daddy that he the daddy.
Wow. Wow. It's so much.
It's selfish.
Yeah, exactly. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? It's so much tied up into this thing, man. And this is a scenario, but this very scenario is what some people call life. Is what some people call life. Go ahead.
That's what I was just going to say. That's what you call life. Everything's not cookie cutter, and it's amazing how we get on this conversation that somebody's going through, that somebody's facing. And it's not just one person, it's becoming a trend.
Yeah.
Because we have these children and we use them like lawnmowers. When we can't see our yard clear, you know, we want to take it out of the garage and mow the yard and put it right back. So anyway, good conversation, man. But we got to do more to make it about these kids till they grow up.
Exactly.
So they'll be able to make wise choices. So they won't be worse than we are.
And see, a lot of times, some of the conversations that we have, you know, they may not really, I ain't gonna say make a lot of sense, but you know, we may not think that they're relevant. But somebody is, whatever we talk about, somebody's going through it, man. It's the conversation that we have is somebody call it life. Somebody call that life, and they have to deal with it. And we hopefully will pour something on it to put out that fire in their life and give them some semblance of hope that they can move on and continue to move and do the things that they need to do to make their lives better. Friday, what's on your heart, sis? Give me your quick version, Friday. Cause you know we ain't going to go. Come on now, Friday.
Selfish is as selfish does.
Wow. When I say quick, I ain't know it's gonna be that quick. Good God. Cassandra, anything on your heart right now?
Yeah, no, I just want to let Rico know that I'm gonna, be praying for him as of right now, and I know Will is going to say a special prayer.
Absolutely.
Because Rico, you are one in a million, man. You are unique because of your fight, and I've seen your fight. I've seen other men do it, but I have literally, since we met on DKM, I've heard your cries for just trying to get a relationship, just trying to do what's best for your son. So I want you to know that I will be praying for you as you go through today.
And truth of the matter, we all will be. We definitely all will be. Bishop, what's on your heart?
Hey, man, good show as usual. Appreciate the opportunity just to voice my opinion. I appreciate you all.
Likewise. Badge, you got anything for us real quickly, brother, before we get out of here?
Be the best human being you can be in all situations.
That's good. Let me see who else we got here. Who else we got? Went to Tucson. Willa!
Raheem,
Yes.
I got to tell you, that's why the Morning Glow show is just so awesome. I just felt myself just felt a conviction. I told you about my niece who got sexually assaulted by her dad. He's in jail, but her mom is going to get ready to get married to somebody else. She wants him to sign off his parental rights.
Wow.
Is that right? Because he did something wrong that he should do that? And, my flesh said, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But the Christian side of me said, man, that's where God's forgiveness comes in at. So I felt convicted, Raheem. I got to be honest. You know what I'm saying? What makes me so right to believe that it's right for, it's not wrong. It's not the right thing that a mother asks a father to sign off his parental rights. But what makes me believe that because he did something wrong, that he don't have that right? So I felt convicted, Raheem. That's what I wanted to put out there.
Wow. And that's a whole that's a lot. That's a lot. I heard somebody want to say something. Okay.
Yeah, I actually have one more thing to add.
Okay.
Just going back to, that situation and how you said that there are people who are in that situation. And so for the women who might be thinking about doing something like that, I just have to say, a good father may not always be somebody who can financially provide. Maybe they're in a tough spot right now. Maybe they're in between jobs because that's just the world that we're living in. But maybe you need to sit down with a piece of paper and weigh out the pros and cons and about the damage that that's going to do to your child before you make that decision.
Absolutely.
Put your own feelings to the side about whatever that relationship was and really, really strongly think about the effect it's going to have on those kids.
Absolutely. Rico, brother, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you missed today's show and would like to hear us see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Been a great broadcast, man. Let me see. I think she's still here. Let me see. Willow!
Raheem, come on, let's go.
Well, are you ready?
Raheem, I am so ready. I am so ready to receive God's word. Come on, Raheem, let's go.
Well, I ain't got one more thing to say. Let's go.
Let's go, Raheem. First, Lord, I want to ask you, Lord, for forgiveness for anything that I've did, that I've done, that I've said that was not pleasing in your eyesight, Lord. Father, please forgive me, Lord, as I approach your throne of grace this morning with a humble heart. I want to thank you, oh Lord, for this opportunity by allowing us to get up this morning and receive your message, Lord. Father, I'm praying and I'm asking you, oh Lord, for miracles to show up in our lives today, oh Lord. Father, I'm praying for Rico's son's mother, Lord. Father, whatever it is that's holding her back to do the right thing in her child's life, Lord. Father, I'm asking you to show up, Lord. Father, I'm asking you to be the mediator. Father, I'm asking you to allow victory to come in that son's life, Lord. Father, touch him, Lord. Touch him in a mighty way, Lord. Father, he has a father that loves him. He has a mother that loves him. And Father, I'm asking you, oh Lord, to be the mediator between the good and the evil, Lord. Father, I know you can do it. I believe that it's already done. Father, I'm thanking you in advance, Lord, that you allowed the Holy Spirit to come in, Lord, and line them up with your will, Lord. Show them your way. Father, we thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be on one accord today, Lord. I'm praying and asking, Lord, that you keep us, Lord, in a mighty way, Lord. Keep reminding us, Lord, that we can't do anything without you, oh Lord. And I thank you, Lord, for the strength that you've given each and every last one of us to endure our hardship as we go on in this evil and wicked world. I thank you, Lord. I thank you for the song that's shining today. I thank you for the snow that you've given us today. Father, I believe that your word say all things work together for the good of them who love you, Lord. And we love you this morning. We're praising you and honoring and glorifying you. Father, we thank you for your word, because your word is the truth, Lord. We know your word. We stand on it. We trust you, and we trust no man. I thank you, Lord. Touch each and every last one that's on this line, Lord. Father, I thank you for the opportunity to be a receiver of your word, Lord. I thank you. I honor you and I glorify you, giving you the highest praise of hallelujah. Thank you for the power of the Holy Spirit. I thank you, Lord. I'm asking you, the Lord, to keep Raheem and the Morning Glow safe, Lord. Keep it protected. Don't allow the enemy to come in and bring on wrath or distract or anything that will cause confusion, because you said that you're not the author of confusion. We thank you, Lord. We honor you, and we go before you in your Son Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Thank you for your word, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
We thank you. Oh, we thank you, Jesus. Amen. Amen.
Yes. Yes, Lord. It's been a great broadcast, y'all. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:14. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love today. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Love you. See you tomorrow. God say the same. Give somebody some love and truth today. Have a good one.